And what's up, everybody? It's Terminator Juice, and we're live. And this is Saturday Night Juice, kind of a special occasion podcast, kind of last minute. We're going to be discussing multiple topics, nothing really set in stone, so it's going to be kind of a free-form discussion. So without any further ado, I'm going to have my guests introduce themselves and take it away.
What's up, people? It's your boy Levelhead, back on another Terminator Juice podcast.
Good to have you back, man.
All right.
This is Francis from Player Essence, and I'm glad to be on this podcast with all these guys.
Yeah, I haven't heard from you in a while on a live podcast, so glad you could join.
I've been hibernating. It's okay.
And last and certainly least, we have...
Oh, with the dig, even.
Just kidding.
Yeah, what's up? This is Rob from the channel Rule of Two Review. Always love being on The Juice is Loose, so I'm pretty stoked to do it with you guys, and let's do it.
And we got Mizzah joining in a little bit. I know he's in the title, so he had a little Gamers at Large meeting that he had to attend, so he's going to pop in when he gets a chance. So before, I guess, while we're waiting for him, let's. I'm just curious what everybody's been playing.
Hold up. Screw Mizzah T. I don't care.
Yeah.
About him. Screw him.
If you're going to use his Mizzah T voice, I don't want him on anymore, so.
There's Mizzah T and then that other guy.
Yeah.
Y'all dirty for that. Man.
I love T. I love T so much.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
Mizzah T and I, we talk movies after podcast for like 2 hours the last few times that we've been on podcast together, so we have a lot in common. So anyway, I haven't heard from many of you. Rob, I've seen you had a couple videos recently. Francis was doing some playthroughs. But what have you guys been gaming on? I'm leveled. I'm stealing this again from your podcast that haven't seen Alive and Leveled in a while, so we'll have to do it here. And there we got. He's here. Go ahead, Mizzah T.
There he is.
Hey, fools. It's Mizzah T.
Did you hear me? Did you hear the beginning?
No, I didn't.
If you go back and listen, it's
You'll get a kick out of it.
All these guys were talking smack about you, Mizzah T.
Don't listen to any of that.
I know these fools talking smack.
I said I don't want Mizzah T on if you ain't going to use the Mizzah T voice.
If I'm not going to use it, or if I am going to use it.
Stop doing
That was a rope though, man. That was like the reverse.
Oh, shit. All right, so I was just asking everybody what they've been playing because I haven't heard from Francis or Leveled in a while. So I'm gonna start with Leveled Head. You been gaming on anything, or you been busy with the real world?
Man, Real World is the game I've been playing here lately. Matter of fact, dude, I haven't turned neither my Wii U nor my Xbox One on in a while. I think the last time I turned it on was when WrestleMania was on. I had it streaming through the Xbox One. That's the last time I turned it on. It's been a minute.
Cable Box One?
Cable, yeah. That's basically what's going on.
Pay-per-view box.
I took a break too a while back, and you got to get away sometimes. You can't play all the time. It's just you can't miss it if you don't leave, or whatever.
Right. I think I'm gonna pick it back up. I know that Mortal Kombat is an X.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's supposed to release. I'll probably cop that.
Tuesday.
Huh?
Tuesday.
Coming out Tuesday.
Yeah, so I'll probably get that and probably be gaming on something. It just ain't been really much to game on new, so that's why I haven't been playing.
Well, that's fair enough. How about you, Francis? I know you've been playing Bloodborne.
Bloodborne, but Smash Bros. Has been what I've been playing because I've been getting into my local tournament scene.
Mm-hmm.
I've been placing in the top 8, here. So I'm looking forward to getting better than hopefully like going to Apex and going to Evo next year. So that's really what.
You talking Smash 4, or are you one of those that went back to Melee or
Smash 4, not
okay.
Melee. I mean, I've been trying to get better at Melee, but I'm 12 years behind everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no way I'm gonna all of a sudden be able to beat Mango or something, So I think in Smash 4 I have a chance to do okay, like make it out of my bracket if I keep on practicing. But Melee, there's no way. There's just been people that have been playing for way too long. But
yeah, that's
Smash
a lifestyle for people.
Yeah. Melee's like it's a whole different beast. And Smash 4, it's like they're allowing customs now, and at Evo they're allowing customs. It's a far different game, and it's a game that I can grow with the community. And like here where I am, I've been playing a lot, and at first I was placing like out of the top 20, and then recently in like the weekly tournaments I've been going, and I've been placing in the top 8. I think I got 4th last time that I was there. So hopefully once I win that a couple times, then I'll go to LA. But yeah, Smash Bros is what I've been playing.
That's cool. I got a weird pet peeve about people that can't play and they like stuck on the old version of a game. I'm just such the opposite. Unless the new game's just absolute crap, I just can't go back. I'm weird like that. I
was gonna say it kind of depends. Yeah.
Like Melee, it's one of those. It's built a certain way. There's certain things that are in the game.
Yeah, I mean you can still play it, but I don't understand why these people don't want to learn Smash 4 and have something new to learn.
It's just because it's not. It's just not like Melee.
I know.
It's not as fast as Melee. It doesn't have the same mechanics as. It's just so different, and they've been ingrained. And like when Smash Bros. Brawl came out, and Brawl wasn't what Melee was. That's what turned people. That's what screwed those people, and they were just going to be Melee forever because they were all expecting Brawl to be just a way better Melee, a balanced Melee, and when it didn't come, that's when it was just like, okay, well, Melee is just going to be around forever. If Brawl actually turned into what they thought it was going to be, then yeah, I think they would have evolved with it. But the fact that it didn't, the fact that Brawl was just literally a completely different type of game than Melee, that's kind of what put it to this situation that we're in right now, and is like to where they don't want to move over, and they can't play Project M because Nintendo won't allow Project M at major tournaments. Like they won't sponsor it, they won't be, because Project M isn't their game. You know what I'm saying? So they're stuck on Melee until Nintendo makes a game that's like Melee, or like Project M.
I think they need to still play that, but also learn the new mechanics, and because I don't think they'll ever get another Melee-like game. But
some do. I mean, I know like Leffen. I know a lot of people don't like Leffen, but I know he plays Smash 4 a bit, and some of the other guys like Hungry Box, he'll play Smash 4. There's guys that will play, but they're just not as good because they've been playing Melee for 10 years, and then this game is just so different. And like Melee, you make more. If you're a Melee player, you're gonna make more money. Then Melee draws more. So if you're a pro player, you're going to want to go to Melee, than Smash 4. Although the Smash 4 community is getting bigger and it's getting better, but, if you've been playing Melee, your name is in Melee. So they're in a hard spot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair point. So how about you, Rob? I know you had a move and stuff, but you've been finding time to play anything lately?
Yeah, only about the last couple of weeks because you're right. I definitely, with the move that I had from one state to another one, I was so busy for a very long time and starting the new job and all these things, or a new position, I should say. But yeah, the last probably week or two, I've been able to start gaming again. The game that brought me back into it, which is the game I'm spending most of my time with, is Bloodborne. And we talked about it a little bit before we even went live, man. I just don't have enough good things to say about Bloodborne. It is super addicting, and it's, I've enjoyed my PS4 since I've had it, but there's no doubt it feels finally like justified the right way having this game. Like, I was hoping maybe it was going to be the order leading up to it, but we obviously saw how that panned out. So wasn't that game. Didn't even worry about it. So Bloodborne is it's just awesome, man. I love it to death. I encourage most people to try it. It's not as alienating as like the Dark Souls games are, and I think that's one of the reasons I like this more than Dark Souls.
Okay, we'll touch on Bloodborne a little bit more later.
Okay, we can get into that. The only other game I've been playing I just finally picked up is Resident Evil Revelations 2, because I'm a really big Resident Evil guy. And it's random. Like, honestly, I'm not playing anything on my Wii U right now, which is really rare. That doesn't happen very often. But I picked up Revelations 2, the physical copy, because that's how I always like to go, and I got that on my Xbox One. And it's actually, I was really nervous, man, but it's actually a pretty great game as far as the newer Resident Evil games go. So I've been digging it. The co-op stuff is actually, I wish they would stop with the co-op, but how they implemented it in this one is actually pretty cool. So that's pretty much what I've been doing. So yeah.
All right. How about you, Mizzah T?
He's on mute right now.
Yeah, he's probably yelling at the children's.
Oh, sorry for what's that? The question was games.
Yeah, what have you been playing?
Trying to finish up my Wii U budget titles. I'm at near the end of both of them, being Kirby and Captain Toad even. Finally finished a launch title, Darksiders 2. So that feels good. Get that backlog cleaned out. And yeah, my Xbox One has been collecting a lot of dust. Haven't touched it in a while since I beat Tomb Raider. So I played a little.
Yeah, I finally beat that.
Wait, has Microsoft released any first-party games this year so far?
No, I don't think so.
No.
Other than like Ori and the.
I was gonna say Ori.
the-
I was just about to
yeah.
say that, which was a
They
game I'm
published
playing
that,
too.
right?
I forgot to bring that up. Great game.
Yeah, I haven't gotten that yet. I'm gonna get it at some point. But
It's
You
like a
would love it.
downloadable
You would
title.
totally love it.
yeah, I
It
know.
looks, yeah, it definitely looks pretty hardcore, like challenging. So
Mhm.
Yeah,
That looks good.
Max and the Curse of the Brotherhood. I keep hearing some of my friends telling me to get that too. So, but yeah, I'm nothing really on my Xbox One. Mostly, Wii U and my 3DS. I've been playing
Yes.
Ace Combat and not as much Monster Hunter as I would like, but I've been playing that a little bit too. So.
all right, yeah,
Can I ask a question?
yeah.
T, what do you think of the ending of that Tomb Raider? I know Terminator, you finished it, right? What?
Yeah, you talking about the supernatural part of it, like at the end?
Yeah, what y'all think about that?
I had no problem with it.
I thought it was great.
I
It was
just thought
cool.
it was all right. I just thought it felt like I was playing, the movie Lord of the Rings, the first one where you thought it was ending, but it didn't end.
Right.
I have to say, one of my favorite.
That
parts
ending
about
was
the
better.
ending- To what? To Tomb Raider?
No, I'm saying the ending that I thought was the ending was actually better than the actual
Then
ending.
the ending, yeah.
So I was
I don't know if they might have added something to the definitive version because I don't remember there being much after this fighting this giant. Like
Oh no, that was the end. But I'm saying the part that felt like the end to me was when everything started burning down. You were running through the burning.
She's jumping through
Oh,
everything.
Right.
That's when
Okay.
it felt like, oh, this is going to be the ending. But then there's this
I gotcha.
whole other piece that wasn't as good as the stuff that was leading
Yeah,
up to that.
it's
So
been
that's-
2 years for me, so it's hard to
Yeah.
remember.
I gotta say that I thought the coolest part about the ending is because I'm an old school Tomb Raider fan, and the very ending, without spoiling that last boss battle, if you guys remember, she finally gets a second pistol, and all of a sudden she's like got both her hands up, like firing with both of those pistols at that.
Yeah.
And that was like such a sweet throwback.
But-
it took like 15 hours of gameplay to get there.
But she
then I
got
was like,
that second
"There's the
pistol,
Lara."
and you didn't
Yeah.
use it until like the end. Like
No, it was like 4 seconds that you used it, but I was like, finally, okay, I'm good. That was a
Setting it
really
up for
cool
the
moment.
next one.
Yeah. The next one, she needs both pistols, whole game. The end.
All right, so
But keep the arrow. I did like the arrow. I'd
Yeah,
probably use the arrow more than anything.
yeah, the arrow in this game was way better than it was in The Last of Us. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So I've been playing a few different games. Still playing Mario Kart every week. Got my tournament on Thursdays. Been getting better attendance now that DLC is close. And I've been playing some Smash, mostly local. I had 7-player Smash. I've had 6-player Smash. I can't dig the one-on-one stuff, man. I just have so much more fun with a group of people in the same room. And then I picked up Trine Enchanted Edition, which is the original Trine game. I got it for $12 because I bought the Trine 2 on launch of the Wii U, and I love that game. Really enjoying that. Gamepad usage is good enough. Like drawing objects on the touchscreen is way better than using the analog sticks. And then I've been playing Kirby's Epic Yarn. I'm about halfway through that. Really,
What do you think of that so far?
It's a really good game. And people that complain that you don't die, well, when you fall and lose all your gems, I mean, it's equivalent to dying. If you don't get them back, you got to play that level over to get gold in certain situations. That's getting tougher on World 3. It's already a lot harder than it was on the first 2. So, really liking the art style. I mean, I think I could convince somebody that that's true HD, not just upscaled, because the texture of the cloth and everything comes through really nicely.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be a blurry mess, but it looks fantastic. 60 frames per second as usual, and
Kind of gives you more hope for Yoshi's Woolly World.
oh
and
yeah,
stuff, too.
I'm so much more excited for that now, and so really enjoying that. And the game I won't save for last, I want to actually talk about Affordable Space Adventures, the indie title. Picked that up on Thursday, and it's a really great game. I know I haven't seen really anybody else who's gotten it yet, and I just want to say, like, that game was worth the wait. I know it's over a year since it was supposed to come out in October of 2013, I believe, or 2014, I mean. Or no, was it 13? I forget. It was supposed to come out a long time ago, and it's kept it exclusive. They didn't pull the multi-plat thing like a lot of other studios, and so I support the game, and it's really enjoyable. It's the best use of the gamepad, hands down. Just nudging out Zombie U for the best use of gamepad in a game. It's really creative and it's really atmospheric and affordable space adventures.
Oh.
For all those graphic horrors out there, this game can easily pass a PS4 game. The lighting's fantastic, 60 frames per second. It's really cool. The sound design's excellent. And it's just
visually it looks like the Swapper. It looks a lot like that game.
Yeah, a little bit, but there's some levels later on where it's really colorful, like some alien worlds, and it's just everything I was hoping it was going to be, and I was really, really happy with how it turned out, and I'll do a review on it when I finish it. So hopefully it continues, and it's not super short, but digging that game, and I recommend anyone out there that's looking. I mean, $20 might seem a little high for an indie game, but it's very polished. It's fair. The production's way up there for a $20 game. I mean, I was very surprised with the overall package, and yeah, so it's like a 1 gig download. So if you got some room on your hard drive, or if you got an external, definitely recommend that game.
But it's a side scroller. Side scrollers are only worth $5 or less.
I mean, the effort they put into the little touches. When you get out of the water, your windshield wipers come on, and there's an actual noise that comes through your gamepad of the windshield wipers. And you have to have the gamepad volume on because there's other noises that come from that, and then different noises from your TV. There's just excellent use of the surround sound, and just the presentation as a whole is fantastic. Lighting engine is amazing, and it's a great game. So I just wanted to kind of give them a free plug. I'm not looking for any money from this plug, but you guys got a Wii U and you're looking for something to play on it. Either try an Enchanted Edition or Affordable Space Adventures. Definitely highly recommend that. And I mean,
I'll have to go check it out.
I mean,
did anybody buy the N64 titles for the Wii U?
I did.
I want to pick up Mario 64 badly.
I picked up Mario 64.
Yeah, I got it because I had it on Wii. It was $2, so.
Nice.
Oh.
I wanted to.
What else have they released? They did Mario. They did Donkey Kong, right?
I don't know if Donkey Kong's out here yet until next week.
What else is on the 64 console
Nothing.
so far? They just Mario?
Yeah.
They showed
just Mario.
They showed a few others. They showed some that were coming, but they're not.
Give me a F-Zero X and Mario Kart, man. Oh my gosh, I can't wait.
Yeah, I never cared for. I got Mario Kart 64 on the Wii Virtual Console, and I never cared for that game. It's just
still my favorite Mario. It's still my favorite Mario Kart.
Yeah, it's my
favorite. For the time it
recently?
came out, you know.
Have you played it recently? Because it's really hard to go back.
No, you're probably right. I'm sure it's like
Mario Kart 8.
Mario
64
much better.
Yeah, 64.
I still play it. It's pretty fun.
Yeah,
oh, cool.
I never got the drifting down since I never owned it. So, but I mean, I have it on the Wii Virtual Console with my classic controller. It's not.
Oh, it's horrible with the classic controller.
Yeah. I'm thinking it'd be better. It'd be better with the Pro controller.
With the Pro, yeah.
Which I did pick up a second Pro controller. I got a new one, because Bayonetta and Hyrule Warriors and all those and Smash, I just basically was wearing out my original Pro controller, and I've definitely noticed a improvement in Smash with latency. I just felt my buttons were getting a little worn out.
But you're one of those guys who use the Pro controller for Smash.
I do the same thing. I'm right
That's what I do.
Love it.
What you saying about the Pro controller? What you getting at?
Let me just say this: if you went to a tournament and you had a Pro controller, they just tell you
they tell you turn around and leave.
You already lose.
I can honestly say I got the GameCube adapter and I bought a new Smash themed GameCube controller. Absolutely despise that controller now. Like it's so small, my hands cramped up within a half hour, and the button locations, the B and A being that far away, it just doesn't work for me. So, and the C stick being down, it just didn't feel right to me.
Oh man,
it's so small.
The A button's huge, and it's right next to the B button.
I know. It's like
when you use X and Y to jump, it's really hard to hit B and jump. You know. It's just, it doesn't work for me.
Yeah, I haven't even used a GameCube controller for Smash since like Melee came out. Like on Brawl, I was using a classic controller, and I used a Pro controller on Smash 4. So
I understand that people love that controller. I wanted to give it another chance. It's just it felt like the 3DS to me. My hands were cramping up so fast. The Pro controller, in my opinion, is the most ergonomically perfect controller for my hand. Like my
I
hands,
agree with that. I totally
just
agree.
Perfect.
I guess it gets like that if you haven't used it in a while. But I've used it since the GameCube came out, so because I still play.
Yeah,
games.
see, I
yeah,
think
I
those are
didn't
the
have a
people who
problem.
use it. Yeah,
think
those are the
that's
people who use it, who've been
I
using
didn't
the
have a
GameCube.
problem back then.
I just like it for Smash. I think it's just for Smash. It's really great. I can use I use the Pro controller for like Bayonetta.
Mhm.
Like I'd rather use that than the GameCube controller. But for Smash Bros, I don't know. It's just that's how I played Melee, because I just played Melee and then Brawl. Then Brawl came out. Used the GameCube controller for Brawl. So I mean, I've been playing for like a long time. I've been playing since Melee.
I tried the Pro controller,
or since the 64 actually. So for me, Smash is just the only game that I really use the GameCube controller for. Other than that, I don't care. I can use Pro controller, gamepad.
It was like playing Street Fighter with a PlayStation controller. It just didn't feel right.
Yeah, and the GameCube controller was terrible for some of the other, like the SSX games.
Oh, no way, man!
Because they're missing that button.
Moves.
They're missing that shoulder button. So anyway, let's not get into that too much.
I can talk about SSX the whole podcast if you want.
I will say though that my aftermarket GameCube controller adapter for $26 works perfectly, and there's just no excuse Nintendo couldn't produce more if these other companies can. So
exposed.
Yeah, but anyway, let's get to the hot topic. The hot topic of the week. I'm sick of seeing people make videos about it, but I agree that they still need to keep making them, because Nintendo's got to hear this. I'm sorry. I know we got different opinions here, but Splatoon voice chat, the reason they gave for not having voice chat, because the developer didn't like the negativity he experienced with online games with voice chat. I hear what he's saying, and I feel the same way. Like, I don't personally probably wouldn't use the voice chat unless just with friends, was the only way I would have ever used it. But I do agree that it should be there, and their excuse is terrible, and I think it's a missed opportunity for a new IP to catch. It had some pretty good momentum before this whole voice chat stuff. So what do you guys think? I mean, I don't know if anyone here's officially made a video about voice chat.
I made one.
Did you? I know you made one a while back. Well,
I made one, and out of everybody here, I think T played the game too, right?
Yeah, I played it.
I played it, and at E3, like I said, I'm not trying to defend the decision, but there was no need to talk to anybody, and they were right next to me. Yeah. Like, you have the gamepad there, you have everything right there, and
what do you think about the new mode?
It would sound really crazy if I tried to emulate it. It would just be people talking really loud and fast, and like if you tried to communicate the way like how the game plays. I mean, it's not needed, but I agree that it should be in there. But I don't care for it, and I'm not going to use it. And I mean, when I do use it, because I'm going to use like Google Plus, it'll just be to talk to my friends while I'm playing. It won't be for any strategy, because the game's just too fast.
Yeah, I actually have wondered this whole time how much strategy will be in that game.
It's not going to be like people seem to think.
It's not Rainbow Six.
What about the Splat Zone mode where you're kind of, and I could see like anyone that's going to be like a professional team that plays this game, if it ever gets to a competitive level, they're going to find a way to talk to each other.
Oh yeah.
But
you just get into a Google Plus room and you talk to each other.
But
that's pretty simple.
That's really not a good enough excuse.
No, it's not.
Because the people, like we're talking off air, that like enjoy Call of Duty and they're playing on Xbox, that's not gonna be cool with them. Oh, I gotta use my phone, I gotta call people. Like, yeah, they're used to it just being there.
It's another barrier of entry for them to what could be an otherwise welcoming.
I just don't think this game is aimed at Call of Duty.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
Yes.
Was voice chat there before was it ever there?
No.
So it was never there.
As far as we know, no, I don't think so.
At E3 last year.
Wait a minute. In an interview, he said that they said something like they tried it and it just didn't. Not that it didn't work technically, but it didn't work with the type of game was, because the action is so fast. People were just blurting out stuff. You know what I'm saying? People were there's a guy over there. Like, oh, he's underground. Okay, there's a guy flying. Like, it just sounded really weird. So he said that they experimented with it, but it didn't really work well. And then now they gave this stupid excuse.
Right.
Well, I was going to say they should have used that excuse.
Yeah, that's the one I believe is that one before. This excuse this time just seems like a spur of the moment type of thing. Oh, I didn't like my experience online, so we took it. Like, that seems stupid. Like,
right.
I don't even believe that.
I made a video about, and it wasn't about what's his name? I can't think of the developer's name. I know it's a Mono or something like that.
Something.
Okay, well, it wasn't even what he said, his reason, which I think is stupid. It was the fact that you had, when I made the video called I'm Just Cuckoo for Nintendo, and I did it for a reason, because I watched a few people, I watched Shokio's video, of course, you know, Shokio wasn't going to be like this. I watched, I'm not going to name all I watched.
That's what I want to know. Does he like anything anymore?
No, well,
sorry, Nia, if you're watching.
No, I mean I knew, but I don't blame him. If you want that feature there, it should be there. There's nothing wrong with that. But my problem is, as a Nintendo fan, and when I hear Nintendo fans who go out their way to justify any and everything Nintendo does, I don't get that. It's like, if you don't mind it not being there, that's cool. It's not gonna stop anybody. It's not gonna stop me from buying the game, but like we all said, this was a stupid excuse for not putting voice chat in the game. It's like me writing, and this is an analogy I used in my video. It's like me being a fan of cars, and I built this wonderful car that outdoes the Bugatti or one of those type of cars, a Ferrari or whatever, and because I heard profanity coming across the speakers, I just chose not to put speakers nowhere in the car and leave no room.
I don't think it matters what people say about the game, or like what they say about it or not. Everybody should just direct it towards Nintendo. The issue that I have with people saying, well, I don't like when somebody else says that. I don't like that there's not voice. Who cares? Everybody's an adult. They can have their own opinion. If any hatred or it should just be sent towards Nintendo. What I don't like is when people like to belittle other people just because they feel a certain way about a feature or something like that. We don't have the option to pay for PS Plus to have online, right? Like, it's no longer an option. With the PS3, you have an option for PS Plus. With PS4, you have to pay for it to have online, and I don't see people saying, "Oh well, I don't like people who have the I don't see people belittling other people for not having that option." So it seems like some people, any type of hatred should be just sent towards Nintendo. I don't like when people get on other people for saying that, well, they don't care.
Yeah, people are taking it personally.
It's not that they say they don't care. Like Francis, you said you don't mind it. It's not a big deal. You don't like it, but
because it's easily added to the game.
Right. Okay. I can understand that. Yeah. This is what I don't understand. Obviously, if you say you want it there, then it's not okay. But you find a way. Not you. I'm saying people in this Nintendo community find a way to rationalize everything Nintendo does. And it's like, I don't understand it. It's like, dude, can Nintendo do anything and be wrong?
Every community, though.
No, but here's the thing.
What I'm saying is, yes, I know it is. I know it is.
Yeah.
But I don't care about. I do. But it's. I don't know. It's okay.
Here's the thing, though. Like, people who say, who come up with excuses over Nintendo's excuses why voice chat shouldn't be in it. If voice chat was in that game, 99% of those people would use it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Sure. Thank you.
Yeah. So it doesn't make sense to say it. Come up with these excuses why it shouldn't be in there. Like, I don't really care about it, but like I feel like it should be there.
Yeah, that's what I want to do here. I want to go down the list here, and I know Francis's stance on it. Voice chat, not a big deal.
I think it should be in. Let me just make that clear. I think it should be in. I wouldn't use it because I don't want to talk to commanders online, Commander Shepherds, fake-ass Commander Shepherds online. I don't want to talk to these because these people are stupid. They do the same thing like on Call of Duty. I just mute.
Yep.
But I mean, I understand. I definitely think it should be in there just to avoid all this BS. So I just want to make that clear.
Yeah, and Rob, what's your stance?
Yeah, it's kind of what we've all sort of talked about. It seems like we're all pretty similar. Like, I don't care. Like, I kind of knew almost from the get-go I would never really use it myself. And I think that the quality of the game is all I really care about, and that's all people will probably be talking about a week after the game is out. But leading up to it, this whole controversy, because I think Nintendo did make that stupid kind of excuse that, the 1T you and I were saying, like, we don't agree, we don't believe that one, we believe the first excuse.
Right.
And so they've changed their wording, and now everyone's losing their minds and taking it really super personally. which I think is really strange. I don't really care about it, but the obvious answer is yes, it certainly should be there as an option. And I think one of the main reasons is when you think about Nintendo's typical stance on just who they are as a company, what the Wii U and the 3DS are supposed to be about. It's experiences for everybody. We want it to be inclusive. We want as many gamers to get out of our games what they want to get out of it. And so I think that removing the option means that some gamers wouldn't get what they should be able to otherwise get out of the game. Like you talk about the Call of Duty gamer, like the Call of Duty gamer should be able to get that kind of voice chat experience out of Splatoon. And Nintendo's saying, no, we're not allowing you to have that part of the experience.
Because the other part of their excuse was they said they want to branch this game out to new audience. Well,
which would be kids.
This is a barrier of entry. And
if they're thinking kids, like somebody said, I think it might have been you, Rob. Somebody said like have an option that you have to go in and enable or something. Like,
it's that simple. Like, don't make the default to not have it on. Then people have to go out of their way to turn it on, and the people who want it will do it. And
that would be the best. That would be the best course of action.
I think so. I do have to say,
most of the people who own the Wii U, I mean, even Nintendo's own metrics. Most of the people who own the Wii U are in our age bracket. They're in their 20s and up. You know what I'm saying?
That's what bothers me about the whole thing, man.
Exactly.
It's like they don't really understand. I think that Nintendo's confused who will be playing this game.
Exactly. That's where my problem with the whole situation is, because if we was talking about the Wii, then I get it. Because the majority who owned the Wii were that demographic, were the kids and the mothers and the soccer moms and all that. Everyone that bought the Wii U, which is a testimony of the fan base of Nintendo, that's really who bought the Wii U, the fan base. Most of us are at least 22 and above for the most part. So it's like when I hear Nintendo say, when I hear this developer use the excuse that he used, it shows me just plainly that there's detachment from who they're servicing and who's actually supporting their system. Because
I agree with that. Yeah, I agree.
It's like you would not make that statement if you truly knew who was buying your games. It's like, come on, man, you only move
I think they're trying to get more younger kids, though. I do think they're trying, because they know that they don't have all the kids that they want.
That's true.
I would be surprised if Devil's Third comes out, and if Devil's Third doesn't have it, then I'd be like, okay, like I seriously that would be really big cause for concern.
But see,
that type of game, how it is, it's obviously.
I might boycott Devil's Third if it comes out with no.
But see,
that's hard.
I believe Devil. I believe
voice chat, but I just think that's ridiculous.
I believe Devil Third would have it because of the developers who was making it. I believe they would have it.
All right, let me give my take real quick before we continue on this topic, because I want people to know I'm in a similar boat. I've been playing Call of Duty since Modern Warfare 2 online with voice chat, and I've been muting it since Modern Warfare 2 voice chat. Like even when my friends are on, it's. So I'm just kind of giving you guys my background. It's God damn, that's bullshit. He shot me in the back. He's shot me out the corner. They're just complaining about their deaths. Like everyone's just talking about their things that are happening to them. Right. No one's working together. No one's. And then if it's not that, then it's people just BSing about life or what's going on with them. And then you're not even paying attention to the game. So I know voice chat for me, it's absolutely not needed for a game like Splatoon. But I'm just like you guys. That's not an excuse not to have it, because there is a percentage of people that live and die by voice chat, and it could have been that final. This game could have been the one where Nintendo branched out and said, "Hey, we're gonna give you this feature that we know that these people that think they're hardcore gamers love to have in their Call of Duty, and let's see if we can get some of them playing Splatoon." Because I have a friend who's all about Call of Duty, and he saw Splatoon and he was excited to play it. I didn't tell him it didn't have voice chat, but he has a Wii U, and he's going to get the game. So, I mean, if he wants to talk to me just like with Mario Kart, he's probably going to call me on the phone, and I'm going to have to chat with him that way. But Nintendo missed an opportunity, I think, to kind of branch out and make this game, to give it the best chance to be as as successful as it could have been. I think it needed to have all the features. Just like most of their games have a ton of controller options. You know, I don't see why this one area is where they just won't. But the thing I really wanted to talk about is, someone kind of mentioned it, there's people actually getting mad at us, people with our opinion, because we're not mad about it not having voice chat. Like, they say it should be there, and I completely agree it should be there, but I'm not physically mad about it. And then
I haven't lost sleep about it one time.
No, I'm still gonna go. I'm gonna go pre-order the game.
I already pre-ordered mine.
Probably this next week. And there's people that are actually mad at people like us for not being mad enough about the lack of voice chat, and that's kind of what bugs me.
A lot of these people don't even have Wii U, so.
Well, I don't know. There's 3 or 4 I'm thinking of that do have Wii U's.
Go ahead.
I'm thinking that they misunderstanding the reason why. Like, okay, I had a guy in my comic section say post to boycott Splatoon. And I'm like, so I was going to skip past what he said. I said, no, I said, never that. I said, if they won't buy for me, just because I don't think it, my problem was mostly with why they said they're not doing it. Not that they're not doing it. Yeah, if they would have just left it at, we're not putting voice chat in the game, I'd be like, well, they should have, but like you said, missed opportunity, but oh well. But to come out and say, this is why we're not putting voice chat in Splatoon, it's like, this is why people think Nintendo is weird.
Well, and that's what put the anger levels over the top the last couple of weeks, was that.
Right. And when I hear people who like, some are like us and then some are way more extreme than us, where like if Francis came out, Francis can see the backlash with Nintendo, and he would point out the backlash and understand why there will be backlash. Some people don't understand why there will be backlash. Like, why would you ever get mad at that? Was the perfect reason why not to put it in. Really? For real? I mean, as a grown man, we can't push a mute button?
Yeah,
like,
that's the other side of it. The people that are just always defending Nintendo for right.
That's what irks me. It's like, because Nintendo will never... To me, the Wii U is a test. Am I off?
You're there. Go ahead.
I said, to me, the Wii U, the Wii U is a perfect example, the perfect testament of Nintendo strange ways of operating. This system kind of got the brunt of that way Nintendo operate, not selling and not appealing to the masses. That's why the system didn't sell, not because it wasn't a good system, but strictly because of the way Nintendo chooses to go about doing things. And when you justify everything Nintendo do, even if it's an admirable thing to do, it don't mean it's the right thing to do. It's responsible to not want people to hear cursing, but it's not your call. It should be their call.
That's
you know what I'm saying? It should be up to them. Give them that choice. If you don't want to hear cussing, give me the choice to not hear it. Don't take it up on yourself to just force me not to hear it because you don't like it. It's like they're still trying to be parents to kids who don't own their system when it's adults who own the system. It don't make sense.
Or don't go online. Just play the campaign and lead a...
Right. It's like, know who you... If you got all these graphs here with people who bought the Wii U, you know that it's not kids. Why you continue to have a kid verbiage and it's not kids who own the system? They own the PlayStation 4. They own the Xbox One. They do not own the Wii U. And I don't get where Nintendo is coming from with that.
Yeah, I kind of think like it almost feels like Splatoon specifically is where Nintendo's confused. Like someone was saying something about whether or not, and it might have been you Levels who talked about if Nintendo really understands, building off of what I said, if they really understand the audience and whatnot. And like I do think that for the most part they do. And that's like why they do things like Nintendo Directs and stuff like for the Nintendo fan because they know we like it. But this game, like Splatoon, seems to exist in this weird bubble because of the voice chat thing where it's like they might not understand, just like everything you were just saying. Like you should, do you know who really is playing your system and who will play this game or not? And I don't think they get it,
Mm-hmm. So that's the only thing that bothers me. So
let me ask this question, kind of change the topic, or same topic, but kind of take it in a different direction. I don't think boycotting the game is necessarily the right thing unless you absolutely you love voice chat. I could understand, I guess. But what is the best way to get the message to Nintendo? Is it getting on Twitter and hitting Bill Trinen? I mean, I think if Shokio makes a video, even though he said many times that voice chat's not a deal breaker, he can use whatever on his PC or whatever. I didn't watch his video, so I don't know what his thoughts were. I'm sure he thought that Nintendo was making a bad decision and it was a dumb excuse. But if he's making a video and then somebody else, a big YouTuber, is making it, is it good that maybe Nintendo's going to see this? Is this a good way to get the message out? Because I think they need to hear it. But not buying the game is not an option for me because it looks so awesome. I want to play it. It's like, what's the best way to get our voices out to Nintendo that we would like them to have these features and it would help them.
Yeah. I think boycotting is not a good idea because one, Splatoon is a new IP, right? And if you boycott a game and it doesn't sell well, they're just gonna say, well, maybe it's because it's a new game, a new IP. We should have made this a Mario paintball or something. They're not gonna know it was because of a feature. So just looking at the numbers of the game not selling, it's not gonna do it. So the best way is for them to hear us, and this is, obviously YouTube is a venue for that, and Twitter and all that stuff. I think that's the better route to go instead of boycotting the game. That just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I think that I feel the same way. And Operation what was it? Hashtag We Have a Voice.
We Have a Voice.
I didn't see hardly any major YouTubers pick up on that. Any of these people making videos, I didn't see hardly. I mean, there was definitely the community, the gamers at large, and the active game life community all posted pics and stuff, but there wasn't this huge movement. And Dr. Trey or whatever, he didn't pick up on it, and it's like, you guys say you want it, so that was a really good idea, and it was a focused idea, and it didn't take off like it should have. So I guess.
Well, I'm learning that some people that ain't gonna support it unless they are the one who coined it or started it.
Yeah.
Right. And then they want to sit around and complain.
See, and that's not right. It's about the message, not about who's more popular.
Yeah, well, that's what some are caught up. You could tell who caught up in the popularity because they constantly make videos to generate controversy and back and forth arguing. So that's what they
somebody
aimed
just
at.
made a video about that. That was really a good video. In this discussion.
Shout out to Mizzah T.
I said it, man. That was probably the best video I've ever seen come from this community. It was
shucks.
Perfect, man.
Wait, which one? I might have missed it. Which one is this? Was this one of your videos?
My last one. It's my last one that's up, yeah.
Describe it, what basic the premise was, because I think you'll be able to say it better.
Basically, I was I'm basically telling Nintendo fans because I was going through the same thing you're going through, TJ, with looking at your feed and all these people complaining about other people who are complaining, and I'm just like, don't let these people steal your joy. Like if you're having fun with what you're doing, your system of choice, then that should be all that matters. And I point out the fact that Sega Saturn was almost my favorite console of all time, and it didn't matter that it didn't sell that great. I enjoyed the hell out of it, and that's all that should matter. If you're a gamer.
There's too many people worrying about what other people think.
Yeah, people lose their sleep over other people's stuff, man. It's
ridiculous.
Just enjoy what you love, and if someone loves something else, then
I'm trying to keep up with the Joneses in the gaming community.
Yeah.
And unsubscribe from these.
Unsub these guys. They're not going to change. They're going to keep.
A few people who always comment on certain people's videos, and that's how I saw Angry Joe's video. That's how I see a lot of these other idiots. I don't watch their videos usually, but it pops up in my news feed, and it's like, why are you guys watching this stuff? I mean, it doesn't bring you any positivity, any joy.
Yeah, all they do is get excited to complain about it and they'll post a video they hate somewhere and say, look at how much I hate this video.
And then they tag me. They're like, you got to get this guy, man. They'll tag me and say, you got to give a response to this guy. I'm like, no.
You're like their highest
It's the council war, man. It's the fight. Got to build the trench up, man, and help them out, man. Scope out the enemy for them.
Did you say this irrelevant console war?
Yeah, that's why I said it.
I see what you did there.
Many people, like, when I make a video, it ain't the console war. None of that is my aim. My aim is just be a gamer. Don't be so extreme. As none of these systems are perfect. enjoy them, but and understand that you're really just a consumer. That's all you are.
Mm-hmm.
And to go anything beyond that is cuckoo to me.
And Mizzah T, didn't you bring up how people talk about this irrelevant Wii U, and it seems to get more press than
I brought that up. The fact that for a system that's so irrelevant and dead, you should get a lot of talk about it because I brought up the fact that I hope people talk about me this much when I'm dead. I'll be.
Yeah, it's funny how.
You know what I find hilarious? What I find hilarious is that people will say, I've seen the articles, you see them all the time, it's dead. How can a console that's, one, profitable, two, still has games coming for it, be dead? So then what is the PS Vita? Let me know what the PS Vita is, because Sony doesn't even talk about the PS Vita in their financial reports. They don't report on the sales.
I think people are confused on what it means for a console to be dead. They just don't get it.
Yeah, people are
profitable, like you said.
It's actually doing pretty well in Japan right now, and it's outselling the Wii U by quite a bit each week. But that's Japan.
Which one? The PS Vita?
The Vita.
Yeah, but hold up. But here's the thing, though, Terminator Juice. Japan, that's one slice of the market. And here's the thing. And even with what they're selling in Japan, it's still not great in terms of sales. It's still not near the 3DS. As far as the PS Vita is near the 3DS in Japan.
Well, the difference is Sony's also not
games.
Yeah, Sony's not supporting the Vita, but Nintendo's supporting the Wii U.
They're supporting both. They're supporting the Wii U and they're supporting the 3DS. I mean, I think in this generation, I think everybody has found out, Sony and Nintendo have found out that supporting two systems with a plenty amount of games is hard. It's really hard to do both, and I think Nintendo's doing a better job of supporting both of their systems than Sony is doing.
And that's definitely where they want to merge. So.
I think we got off here. We actually talked about the Vita for too long. Just a little bit too long, man.
I wanted to get back to the main question that I want to get back to the question that Terminator asked too, because I have about what's the best way to get the message across. Go back to Splatoon and voice chat. And I wanted to make sure to bring this up in this discussion, and that this is a good time. It's going to be, I think, a pretty unpopular opinion, but when I think about that idea and what's the best way to get Nintendo to realize that the voice chat's important for Splatoon and make it happen, honestly, I would bet my bottom dollar that it's never going to happen. And I don't think Nintendo is ever going to get the message. I want them to get the message because, like we said, I don't care about it, but I think that it should be there for people. But I think as hard as we try, and We Have a Voice is a great message, and it's a great movement that I totally believe in, but I just don't think that Nintendo will ever really pick up on it and do anything about it. So I don't want to encourage people not to try, because I think it's important to try to make your voice heard with stuff like this, because it is an important message to get across. But I kind of feel like it's futile, and I think that sucks to admit. I just don't think that it's ever going to get across. I just don't think that it will.
I think we just meant out of the two options of boycotting or what's the better way.
Definitely don't boycott. That's obvious. Don't boycott. Right. And I think if you're going, and I think people should try. I'm not saying people shouldn't. But I just think the reality of the situation is I don't think Nintendo's ever going to pick up on it. But the hashtag movements like Twitter and YouTube, obviously that stuff probably does help. And I think that there are people, especially in Nintendo of America, who do see that stuff. I just don't think that those people have the power to go to Iwata and Miyamoto and be like, you should see what's happening over in America. Watch this video, make it happen. They'll be like, yep, no thanks.
Go ahead.
Can I jump in with that? I agree with Robert, and I will take it farther though. I don't think it's the reason we're not reaching Nintendo is because they already know we want it. I don't think they're oblivious to us wanting it. I think, like I said the last time, Terminator, I think they haven't figured out how they can give it to us the way they want to give it to us. They can't control voice chat the way they want to control voice chat. So until they can eliminate what this developer said, the cursing and all that, they're not going to give it to us no matter how much we have a voice and how much we, hashtag them about it. They're not going to give it to us because it's not a part of their philosophy. Just like when you look at Miiverse. Why is Miiverse still there? Because if you put anything that they deem inappropriate, they can stop it right then and there. You can't do voice chat like that. And until they can control it the way they want to control it, It don't matter. It's no matter what we say. It's not going to be added.
I also think it's on a developer-to-developer standpoint, though. I think it's also.
Yeah, the Call of Duty had it. They allowed Call of Duty.
It just depends on the developer. I think
that's what I'm talking about in-house. I'm talking about in-house because I found it very peculiar that a game like this, I bet if it had been made outside of Nintendo developers, it would have had voice chat.
So you guys mean like in like
I'm talking about
like
Nintendo developers. I don't think they're gonna do it.
But here's the disconnect for me: Wii U chat. You know, like there's
that's video chat.
Yeah, you can
video.
show.
You can look into somebody's house, say what you want to see, probably show what you want to show. I don't know.
I don't think there's any way to report or anything.
I mean, how do you have that and we're still talking about voice chat? You know,
that's why I hope that it really just comes down to they just actually took a look at this game itself and determined, would it work for this game or would it not work for this game? Kind of like how, like that first message they said where it's like, oh, we tried it for Splatoon and we just determined it wasn't good for Splatoon. We can hope that that's the real reason that they didn't do it.
Yeah, but even with that, multiplayer doesn't work for every game. Some games, they just throw it in there for something extra to do.
Yeah.
Like, why don't we still should have the option, I think. I mean,
Right.
regardless if you think it works for that game or not, I think you still should have the option of having it.
Who knows? Maybe the guy's comment about the swearing was even true then. For all we know, maybe that's actually what it was.
I think it's a combination of both. I think it's a little bit of both. I think that when you play the game, you'll find out why, like, especially with randoms online, I think with friends it would have been cool to have it. But I think once you play the game, you'll kind of realize, like, how you probably won't be spending much time talking to people, especially giving orders, just because of how the game is. But I think it's a little bit of both as far as the...
Chat is not going to help you the way you think it is in this game. And like Francis said, it's
just fun. Yeah, it may not help, but it's just fun.
It's not Rainbow Six. You're not going to be sitting there plotting it out.
No, it's definitely not Rainbow Six.
I think
that was my quote, by the way.
Definitely not that.
Oh, was that you? Okay.
I think Splat Zones could justify it. It could be justified for that mode a little bit more than just the basic.
Yeah, Splat
mode.
Zones does look a little bit more. It could be more strategic.
Because they said that there's strategies where you send two people out to go cut off the other team once you have once you're holding down that area, and you just won't be able to tell them that. So if you got 4 people going off on their own, and then
once 2 people go to one side, the other 2 go to the other side. I don't think you need to tell somebody that. There's only 4 people in the match, so it's like 2 people go.
Yeah, it'd be a little easier.
You'll start running, and then once 2 people go one way, then 2 people go the other way.
I think what it comes down to is go ahead. No, go ahead, T. Sorry.
No, that was it. I was just saying that the best teams, the guys who want to be at the top of the leaderboards or whatever, they're going to be using voice chat. Strategy.
They'll probably find a way to make it work.
Well, Nia had that cool service on. Unfortunately for me, you have to have it runs through a PC. You can't use a phone.
Yeah.
Where it has a dedicated server and stuff where people can chat.
It did sound cool though. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that when it comes to like Nintendo doing it, like building off what you said, Leveled, like if it was gonna be like an in-house voice chat thing where Nintendo themselves made a first-party game with voice chat, knowing them, I would see it being something where it would be like another brand new IP where they really built from the ground up like a gameplay function that really required or was built around voice chat. And they obviously don't see like Splatoon needing that for the sake of strategy, but if they made a whole different kind of game and it was all about how you interact and talk with your friends and that was part of like their new idea, that would be the only way I would ever see Nintendo as a first-party company making a first-party game, making a voice chat enabled game.
Full voice chat, like
with full voice chat, like that's why you buy the game is the voice chat.
Because
not like it's addition. You buy it because it has voice chat.
It's not like there's a voice chat button waiting when you finish, making the game. It takes development time to throw that in there. So if they feel like it doesn't justify it for the game, they're just not going to put it in.
Yeah, so, Nintendo's philosophy would be like make it why you buy the game, and that's why they would. That's my theory. That's
you're right. You're right. My thing is this. We talk about the strategy aspect of Splatoon not really having a strategy aspect to it. Is too fast. Like I haven't played it, so I can only go off what Francis and T talking about. But sometimes it ain't even about the strategy. It's about the fact that if I want to play with Terminator, if I want to play with Mizzah T, I want to play with Francis, and we all on the team.
Right.
I would like to hear Francis laughing. I would like to hear T tripping out because he got shot. I would like to hear Terminator, like, man, T, what you doing? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I would like to hear that dialogue, but you know, and I'm not even an online player like that. I don't play online like that.
I can't believe we forgot the social aspect of how that can help.
Yeah, it's just a
spread the joy of
social
the
like
game.
right.
Yeah, that's
it's like
you talk with your friends. It's just fun. It's just
I'm
like
30. I'm 35, about to be 36, and I'm not going over my 35-year-old friend's house with a whole bunch of other 35-year-olds sitting around the TV trying to play Splatoon. But if I was in my own house and I had my earphones on and I can get on, like right now, just before we started this podcast, Drone Crusher hit me up. It's like he want to get on some Smash Bros. And I'm like, yeah, let's do that. But it would be nice if when I'm playing Drone Crusher, I can actually talk to him without having to go through outside sources to do that. And it seemed like Nintendo, who was all about the experience, who was all about, you know what I'm saying, the fun factor. Hearing your friends is a lot of the fun factor.
That's why I
like, not just playing
local.
the game.
And excuse me, you look at the gamepad. What does it have?
A speaker on it.
It has a speaker.
A really crappy microphone.
Yeah. So, but this is my thing, T, with that. You go back to Wii Speak. To me, that was Nintendo's attempt to give you voice chat the way that they could, or at least have it to where your parents and those who around can hear you.
Yeah.
They don't want it to where because I think they do think kids first. They don't want it to where a kid could be isolated in a room with these earphones on their ears, hearing all this profanity, and then some kind of way their parents find out about it, and it gets back to Nintendo being sued for. I think they really fear that, so they don't even really entertain it.
But just real quick, the equivalent of Wii Speak is that crap-ass voice chat using the Kinect on the 360, if anybody ever tried that garbage.
Never tried it. I had
That
a
was
Kinect for
worse
about
than
3
Wii
weeks.
Speak.
Yeah.
Oh, I never tried Wii Speak, man.
The PlayStation has a PlayStation Eye that you can do the same thing too, where it's just kind of like a microphone. It's kind of like We Speak, but it had a camera on it. At least that's what I remember with.
Yeah,
PlayStation
when people
3. I
would
think they have a
talk,
camera.
when you would talk, it would come through their TV speakers, and the Kinect mic would pick it up, so you'd hear yourself again. It was terrible. But
I mean,
Can I add one thing to this whole voice chat deal?
yeah.
I do want to add one thing. If anybody is a Pokemon player, Pokemon has full voice chat. Just to let you guys know.
Yeah, right.
I know.
3DS has like more. I mean, it just makes.
Pokemon has complete full voice chat. As soon as you link up with somebody, it just bam, it goes right there, right through the 3DS and everything. So, but that's more of, I guess, Game Freak than it is Nintendo.
Yeah.
But it is a
Probably,
Nintendo first party game. I mean, Game Freak and the Pokemon Company. They do some of the things they do is differently. They don't care about like free to play, like the free to play stuff. Like they'll release multiple free to play games. They don't care. You know, in game purchases, microtransactions, the Pokemon Company doesn't care. So yeah.
Yeah. And how about they add this to it too? If they so worried about the cursing and all that, you can report them.
Yeah.
Okay, this person have a flag, and they get so many flags, they are kicked out. They can't.
Yeah, but it might be one of those things where it's like, how can they monitor like how true it is? Because it could be people just like bullying somebody. Like, I agree, they should do it that way, but that might be their reason.
You open up the floodgates to that because you just take anybody.
Well,
down.
Yeah. You beat me, so I'm gonna flag you.
Yeah, that would probably start happening. So.
Oh, this guy's better than me. Can you please kick him off this game?
So let's move on. We got a couple more things I wanted to discuss. I feel like we all agree that the game should have voice chat. Don't be mad at us because we're not mad because it doesn't have voice chat, but because we all think it should have it. And also, don't defend it for the dumbest reasons that it doesn't have it. There's people out there like that. So
right. Thank you. I'm glad you said that.
Summarize. So next, I want to talk to Rob and Francis, especially about Bloodborne, and then I'm gonna start with Francis because you recently got your PS4, and I haven't heard your thoughts on it. So I just wondering how you're liking the PS4, and if Bloodborne's kind of living up to your expectations, and was that a system seller or worthy of a system seller now that you're playing it. Francis?
Did we lose him?
Hello?
Oh, it's still there.
Mario.
Rob, why don't you give your thoughts on Bloodborne? And you kind of already talked about it, so.
I did. I mean, if I could, I guess I'll do like a kind of a quick thing. But yeah, so like you were even asking Francis if he thought it would be like the system seller kind of thing, and like for me, even though I already had a PS4, if I didn't already have a PS4, I would absolutely say that for me, it's definitely a system seller. But, you know, like, From Software's games and the way the Souls games and now Bloodborne play out, there's no doubt that they're not for everybody. I said that when I did my impressions video, and a couple people felt like that wasn't really true. But my personal feeling is they are
true.
Yeah, isn't it? Yeah, exactly. Like you said that they're not for everybody, you know, and it's really because of the difficulty. You know, like those games are very, very hard. All that's true. But I just think that they're hard in the right way. That's why I liked the Souls games. When it comes to Bloodborne, and I also said this in my impressions video, the reason I think it's so good, and the reason I would think, even Terminator, if you have a chance to check it out, I think you should, because I'd be curious to see if you would like it more. I think that what From Software had been doing with the Souls games was kind of building to Bloodborne. It feels like, as somebody who played all 3 Souls games leading to this, it feels like Bloodborne was the game and the kind of experience that they had in mind and in their sights. And they toyed with the formula, and they started with Dark Souls, and they found ways to tweak it and make it this much better and more efficient for Dark Souls. And then they knew how to take the Dark Souls thing and then just improve some minor tweaks on that for Dark Souls 2. And then they move on to Bloodborne, and it's like the same like blueprint for all 3 of the Souls games, but with tons of small and big tweaks that make it a better game, more fun, and also more accessible for like other players who wouldn't normally be like a Dark Souls fan. But it's still really hard, and it doesn't sacrifice what makes the Souls games and their kind of games, you know, identifiable. So they just made this really great. The setting is fantastic. I think that visually it looks great. It doesn't run the smoothest. It definitely will like clip below 30 frames per second on occasion, but it's never game breaking. And so I don't know, man. I just think that Bloodborne, I could rave about it forever and ever. I think it's really fantastic, but only for the right kind of player. It definitely isn't for everyone. But Terminator, I think hopefully you get a chance to check it out. Did you play all the Souls games before?
No, just the first one, and then I watched someone play the second one, or Dark Souls, I guess.
Wasn't into it?
It just, controls were clunky for me, and I don't know, I just couldn't get into it, man. I'm not an RPG guy, and I didn't realize they were considered RPGs, but Dark Souls 2 won Best RPG on a couple different sites, I thought.
I feel like the Souls games are RPG games in the same way people might tell you like a Zelda game is kind of RPG, even though it's really not. I feel like it's that kind of same gray area. So, I mean, I know there's obviously not a lot of like probably Sony or like Sony fans that would actually watch this kind of podcast, but I definitely think that anyone out there who has the opportunity should check it out. I think Terminator, you might like it more than the Soul stuff.
I do like I like the setting, but I was watching a 10-minute gameplay and I was like yawning and I couldn't take it. I couldn't watch the whole thing.
Okay, here is I won't go off on Bloodborne too much more until Francis get a chance to talk about it. But I'm telling you, the Bloodborne experience, more so than Dark Souls, the Bloodborne experience is like the feeling you as the player get when you get better. It is all about your personal individual skill. Watching someone else be good at it, I totally agree with you, is not entertaining. It's like watching, people may like NASCAR, but let's say you don't like watching NASCAR because you're not the one driving. Watching someone else be good at driving,
awesome.
But if you're driving, it's amazing, exactly. And Bloodborne to me is similar.
That's true, but I really enjoy watching other people play Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze that are really good. And I still love, getting good at that game too. So
I think some games just lend themselves to that better, but Bloodborne specifically really is like if you accomplish what you couldn't accomplish for a long time. Oh my God, you could do cartwheels out of your front door. You feel so good when you finally beat that boss. It's like totally worth it. So that's my feeling on it.
Let's because Francis seems to be gone. His emblem's still there, but
I'm here.
There you are. Okay, you want to chime in on give your PS4 some quick thoughts on how you're feeling about the system and Bloodborne?
Sure. As far as on the system itself, it has It has every single feature that you can think of, and I find it mind-boggling that there's people on PlayStation's blog saying we need this, this, this. I'm like, holy, hold up here. The system already has like a million more features than like Wii U, for instance, or 3DS. I mean, there's people that still want
Except
more.
for YouTube, there's still no YouTube app.
Yeah, well, they have
Which is
YouTube.
weird. Not on PS4. Or did it show up finally?
I couldn't watch it. My buddy.
Well, they have a web browser, right? But whatever.
Yeah, there's a web browser. Yeah.
I think overall the system is really, 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 really well-designed system. And what I like the most about it is the fact that you can go into any area of the system while you're in a game. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not limited. Like, you can go into your settings. You can go into any other place that you want to go to. And one of the best features about the system is the whole share play thing. That basically makes any game that's only local multiplayer, it makes it an online game. So Knack is now an online multiplayer. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you wanted to play Knack with somebody else. You share play, and you can play local multiplayer as if you guys were in the same room. So, in my opinion, that is a completely, I mean, I hate using this term, but next-gen feature. That is it right there, because there's every game that has local multiplayer, now it has online multiplayer. That's really cool, and that would really be fun for a lot of like Wii U games if Nintendo had that feature, like Wonderful 101, Donkey Kong. There's a number of games that have local multiplayer on the Wii U.
So like
cool.
Nintendo Land.
Yes, Nintendo Land. Oh my God. Like,
so what? You can like someone play a level. Let's say it's a platformer and you died. Then you could say, okay, you try it this time, and it's happening right there.
You can basically play a game like a local multiplayer game, like as if you're right there online. You just share play. You hit the button. Another person can join in into your game right there. It's just like playing local multiplayer but online, but it's only through share play. So somebody has to,
like if someone was in like you're two people sitting. Let's say your buddy came over and you were playing, you know, like I said, Donkey Kong or something. It'd be like handing them the controller and they play a level and then they hand it
I think
back.
he's saying like if you play like Batman, let's say Lego Batman, where you play as Batman and your other person plays as Robin. That you both can basically play, even though you're not in the same room. Now you can play online because of the share play.
I mean, how does it work if it doesn't have an online like multiplayer though?
Because it's through share play. With share play, Sony has alien technology.
So it lets so. What do you see on your screen? You just see what you're doing, and then if they walk in front of you, like you see them too. It's not.
It's just like you guys were playing local multiplayer. It's the same thing. You're basically giving them the game to play.
And so they don't even have to own it, and they get a separate.
Yeah.
And do they are they having are they saying exactly what you're seeing, or?
Yeah, it's just like playing a local. It's just it's the exact same thing as playing a local multiplayer.
Like you're saying.
So are both persons playing at the same time, or are they switching off?
They're both playing at the same time.
I can't wrap my head around how that works. So
just think of it as like, let's say a game had online multiplayer. It's the same thing. They just you can now make it to where any game that's now local is online. Like it's called share.
I think what Terminator's talking about is like, let's say Gears of War, where like each person is moving around the map with a totally different viewpoint. It's like not split screen. It's like each person has their own full screen. Is that what you're asking, Terminator? And how do you make that work?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
Well,
gotcha.
It depends on the game. Like, for instance, it depends on how the game does it. If you're playing split screen, like let's say there's a game that's local multiplayer, and you're playing
like Mario Kart or something.
Yeah, and if it's split screen, that's how you play it when it's locally. That's how it's going to be when you do share play. It's going to be the exact same thing.
Okay, so the game has to have local co-op or local multiplayer in order for it to have the share. It can't just be a single player game that has no multiplayer function at all.
Exactly, yeah. It can't just be a single player game, then all of a sudden, it turns into
because then you're giving away like what's a single player game? Like The Order. That'd be like giving someone The Order for free, not sharing a Call of Duty match.
Here's the thing that you can do though. You can start share play and then let somebody else play the game and you can watch them play.
That's what I was asking in the beginning, like handing them the controller.
You can do that too.
Okay.
It does both, and that's probably the most awesome feature on the PS4.
Yeah, that sounds like a really cool feature. I experienced the PS4 about a year ago, and I wasn't a fan of the cross-media bar on the PS3, and I wasn't really digging it on the PS4. I'm sure it's had some changes since then, but my friend, he's just one of those people, he doesn't have any social media, he doesn't watch YouTube, so he only basically watched Netflix and played the game on the disc. Like he didn't use any of the extra features to share, none of that stuff, and it was just so, to me, after coming from the Wii U with having all my games downloaded right there and easy access to apps like a cell phone. It felt really archaic to me at the time, but from what you're describing, there's a lot more to it than what I saw.
Yeah, there's a lot you can do on it. I think I don't really like the that home menu, the new PS4 version of the cross media bar myself. I thought the PS3 version was better, but yeah, there is a lot you can do. Francis is totally right. It's cool for what it is.
Yeah, it's a really cool system, and it's just the games. The problem is just just the games. There's just a lot of remasters, a lot of games that I'm not into personally, but I know other people are.
Would you say that Bloodborne?
A lot of multiplats.
Maybe that's a better question for Rob. Is Bloodborne feel like the first exclusive PlayStation game that felt like this was deserving of a PS4
killer app?
Yeah, it is the killer app. But actually, you know what? Here's the reason I'm going to say no. Is exactly what you just said. I think it's the killer app, obviously, for the people who would like a game like Bloodborne. But like I said, I really don't think Bloodborne is for everyone. So kind of, to tell you the truth, no. I'd have to say it's not the killer app because they still need what would be the equivalent of like a Legend of Zelda, which would be like Uncharted when that comes out. That's going to be the killer app because everyone will want to play Uncharted, but not everyone's going to play or enjoy Bloodborne, even though its quality is high enough to justify the price. It just doesn't speak to everybody.
Yeah.
So,
that'd be like, Donkey Kong doesn't speak to everybody, and that's, in my opinion, that was like that in 3D World were the pinnacle reasons to own a Wii U once those
definitely,
games came out.
yeah.
They pushed Uncharted back. They pushed my purchase back.
Yeah.
So that's a whole new video title for you.
Yeah.
I think with Nintendo, I personally think that they should have to have more like the killer app for the system, the Wii U system, the gamepad. It's so in tune with games that are like the bigger RPGs and stuff like that. There should have been more like that. Wind Waker HD was amazing.
Yeah.
But I just don't think platformers suit the Wii U very well. I think it's okay. But like Donkey Kong, it turns off the gamepad. Whereas Wind Waker HD, it's amazing.
My argument to that, even though I mostly agree, my big argument to that is Rayman Legends, which is awesome, and it's awesome because of the gamepad.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
So that's one of the few platformer experiences that really is you need the gamepad. I wouldn't even want to play that without the gamepad now that I've done it. So, but most other games like Mario 3D World, Donkey Kong, like you said, those games don't need the gamepad, so they're kind of a good example of that.
But it's
Rayman Legends.
Watch, Xenoblade Chronicles X is going to get so many more sales than people think because of what they're doing.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's going to sell really well. Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Yep.
Francis.
What's up?
Have you played Chronicles X?
No, nobody's played it, to be honest.
Yeah,
they didn't have it at E3. All they had was they just showed a trailer of it.
Played it.
I have some concerns, some that I've been noticing in the videos that I'm watching, man, and it's with the combat. Does it look kind of stiff to you guys?
It's intentional. It's intentional. Like if you've played Xenoblade Chronicles. If you've played Xenoblade Chronicles, or if you've played like an MMO, like if you've played Guild Wars or anything like that, it's like that. They all look. Okay. It looks stiff. Yeah. But it doesn't feel stiff when you actually play the game. It's actually fluid. It's very smooth. But yeah, the animations are definitely stiff looking.
Yeah, it's not quite as stiff as Monster Hunter in my opinion.
I think a lot of people who see it, they expect Zelda type gameplay as far as real-time battling, and it's not quite real-time, but it's not turn-based. It's kind of somewhere in between.
It's a hybrid. It's a hybrid between turn-based and between action RPG, but it's the best way to do it. It has an auto attack system, which a lot of MMOs do, where you just automatically attack, and then you pick skills. And then those skills have cooldowns, so it's really like World of
You're
Warcraft.
You're kind of queuing up your moves. It reminds me of Knights of the Old Republic. That was the first game I ever played that did that. It's like
you're moving around in real time.
Oh yeah.
You have free movement. It's more of an action RPG.
You won't even attack until you're close to the enemy.
Right,
your
attack is
standing
kind of automatic type of deal.
Yeah.
Well, with Xenoblade Chronicles X, when you have a gun, you'll automatically just shoot at them. So
forget about the guns. Yeah, good play. It's a whole new element. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
and the
my bad.
The dolls look like they added a lot more, with missile attacks and a lot more range to your attacks.
I feel like this game's gonna have Final Fantasy VII effect. A lot of people are thinking that that a lot of people are going to get it because like a lot of people at Final Fantasy VII and weren't expecting it to be like a turn-based kind of because of the
Well, I saw the CG commercials.
yeah, and I feel like a lot of people are going to buy this and expect because they see the mechs, they see the shooting, they see it kind of looks like a Monster Hunter type of deal, and it's not quite that, but
yeah, those are the people who should just buy Bayonetta 2.
No, I think I think that's a good thing that they'll buy it based on the other stuff, and maybe that'll get them into this type of game,
Right. Well, reason I asked that was my friend who owns a PlayStation 4 brought it over when we was watching the WrestleMania, whichever the last one it was, and he got the demo of the latest Final Fantasy. I don't know what number
15.
that is.
Yeah, 15.
15, okay. And watching him play, it kind of controlled like you would control Zelda. Like you could freely slash and and attack at will. And when I was watching Xenoblade, I thought it was going to have that feel, but y'all kind of explained it. I'm not an RPG person. This will be the first RPG that I ever take a chance at, and I'm just trying to figure out what am I getting into when I do purchase this game.
It's different, but that's cool that you're giving it a shot, man. I think you'll be happy. I think you'll be really happy with it.
Okay.
It's different though.
The 3DS just got Xenoblade Chronicles. I don't know if you have a 3DS anymore leveled, but
the new 3DS.
Yeah, I got my son has a 3DS.
Oh, you gotta have the new 3DS. That's right.
Yep. Yeah, I've been playing it on. You can play Xenoblade Chronicles. If you can find a copy, you can play it on your Wii U through your Wii. And the battle system is it's going to be very similar to that, just like on steroids, though. Based on what they've shown, like there's triple cooldowns, or there's triple. Like you can actually queue up like the attacks to where you can do it twice and sometimes even 3 times, and they'll evolve based on how many times you queue up your skills. But it's a very similar battle system, just with mechs and with it's just way bigger. The game is just like 3 times bigger than the actual 5 times
it's gonna be amazing.
Bigger. Yeah, it's going to be quite simply. It's going to be amazing, especially if you played Xenoblade Chronicles on the Wii. This one absolutely blows the first one out of the water, which is funny because the first one is actually really good. I'm playing that on the new 3DS right now, so
And we got
honestly, with Zelda getting pushed back, Xenoblade is pretty much my guess for Game of the Year at this point.
Yeah.
For me,
For me, I think mine has already been X'd this Game of the Year.
I don't know, man. I wonder if Devil's Third going to compete with it, man.
So I'm very excited for that. That'll be interesting to see where it falls.
We'll see how
we haven't seen anything close to the final build yet. So
Yeah.
Who knows?
We'll see.
Yeah.
It'll be awesome, though. I'm with you there. It's going to be amazing.
It really depends on opinion because, like me, I'm not as much of a shooter guy. I'm more of an RPG guy. So obviously, I'm going to go. Like, if 2 games are really good and one of them's an RPG and one of them isn't, I'm obviously going to say, well, the RPG wins the Game of the Year. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I'm always going to be. So
right now, Kirby and the Rainbow Curse is my Game of the Year right now, but I haven't played a whole lot of new games.
See, and that could be no further from my Game of the Year. Yeah. It's nowhere near it like Kirby because I'm not as much of a platforming guy.
I love Kirby to death. I could see it making my top 10, but it's definitely not that close.
That's not even my top 10.
So.
Are they labeling Devil's Third a shooter?
Yeah,
I think so.
Well, it's got the mixture of the third-person sword combat from Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah, because
that's what I'm looking forward to.
That's what I'm looking forward to is that part, not the shooter part of it.
It's definitely labeled. It's like an action shoot. It's an action game. I would probably label it as an action game first, then shooter second, because it has a really unique mechanics because it's third person, and then when you go into your sights, it's first person.
Yeah.
Rainbow Six did the inverse of that. Rainbow Six was first person, and then when you get into cover, it went into third person. And then when you went to aim through your sights, it went back into first person. So it's kind of like a weird mix between what they've done in some other games. But I think it's cool. I don't have a problem with games being third person and zooming in to first person when you shoot. That's cool.
I feel like with Devil's Third, it'll be interesting because we haven't seen anything on it in so long now. And it just sounds like they've done so much to it that it could be a very different looking and playing game by the time we finally see it.
Maybe he won't be a bald space pirate by the end.
Yeah, just for you.
Apparently the game's ready. Apparently, and Itagaki said just leave it in Nintendo. He said that trust in Nintendo's hand when they release the game. But apparently it's ready. Nintendo is just shuffling things around. Yeah, they're really shuffling, because Zelda got delayed.
The Zelda delay changed a lot.
Yeah, so the Zelda delay changes a lot of things and probably obviously marketing, like money being spent on marketing down. Like that budget that they had to market Zelda needs to be dispersed between the games left, so...
Yeah. And games we don't even know about. Like, we're probably going to get new games still to account for when they would release at E3. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Yeah, there's a lot going on behind the scenes. Especially, I think the marketing is the biggest thing because obviously you need to reserve a lot of money for Zelda, to market that game. But now that Zelda's not here, where does that budget go? What are they going to do with it? Does it go towards possibly like a remaster or something that they could get done before the end of the year? They can get it done in 7 to 8 months.
I remember the last time I was on here with you, Terminator. What's the name of the podcast?
Juice.
Juice is loose.
Juice is loose. We was talking about did we think either Star Fox or Zelda was going to make it out both this year, and I was saying that I don't believe both of them would make it. But I thought Star Fox was going to be the game that was going to get delayed. But now that we see it was Zelda. Do you guys think Star Fox is big enough to carry the holiday, or is there another game we don't know about? Because they got Splatoon, and Nintendo typically goes with their own titles for the holidays.
Yeah, in my opinion, Star Fox isn't a big enough franchise, and it's not a game with enough content to be their big holiday title. They're going to have to put 2-3 games out or have X be that big November game or something, because what we know right now, in my opinion, Star Fox isn't even close to big enough for a big holiday game.
Right. The reason I asked that is, remember back when Mario 3D World showed up at E3? Mm-hmm. We didn't know nothing about it until E3, and then all of a sudden we saw it, and it didn't look as good as it ended up being. But do you see them showing something at E3 that is planned for December that's going to replace Zelda? Because that's what I think is going to happen.
I think that's going to happen. I think there's going to be something that they show off. But I think it's also going to be games by committee, Like they're going to have just like you have Devil's Third, you have Yoshi's Woolly World. That's going to be a fall title for us. That's going to be a summer title for Europe. So you're going to have Yoshi, you're going to have Devil's Third, you're going to have Star Fox, you're going to have Xenoblade, and I think there's going to be another game or two that they mix in there that we don't know about at this point. I mean, we still need to see what Retro's doing, and Next Level Games. Next Level Games has been working on a game for the past 2 years. They've been working on a Wii U project. So I think that will be the game that we will see that will come out this fall. I don't know if it will replace Zelda, but it's going to be a game from Next Level Studios, the guys who made Luigi's Mansion and the guys who made Mario Strikers. They're making a game for the Wii U. That's going to come out this year. We just don't know what it is.
Yeah, I believe that. I agree with that.
I actually agree with you, Leveled. Going into the Zelda delay, if there was any game that was going to be delayed, I thought it was also going to be Star Fox, because I totally
because it started late, like the development started late.
Right.
And we know they've been working on Zelda for a while, so I was like, oh, Zelda is going to stick to 2015. I believed them like a fool, like a total fool. I thought they were going to do that. But I might be one of the few people that I totally believe in Star Fox, and I feel that Nintendo will make this their big first-party game. I definitely agree with Francis. Like, Next Level's game is probably going to be amazing. If we get Retro's game this year, which we should, and that really is a huge title, that could become it. So I kind of think it's both. I think they'll give us 1 or 2 huge surprises that will become big pushes for the holiday. I don't see Xenoblade being what they push as their big holiday game. But, I mean, it's going to be huge for us, but I don't think that Nintendo will make it that way. I'm really hoping we get, for Star Fox, the equivalent of that second Mario 3D World trailer that you brought up. Because you said, like, that first one, no one was really impressed. Fast forward 5 months, and they released that new trailer out of nowhere, if you remember, and everyone lost their mind with how much better that game looked all of a sudden. And I think Star Fox is and very well could be that, if they give us, like, the content. You know, that Terminator, you like, I don't know if they have enough content. And I would normally agree, but I think that they can make this Star Fox game chock full of content because it's going to be on the Wii U, and if it looks gorgeous, and they just sell it as this amazing next-gen Nintendo Star Fox game for the holiday, if they sell it right, I think it could hopefully be that. That's my theory.
My only thing with that is when Mario 3D World first was announced, we didn't know anything about it. We didn't know that it was even in development or anything of the sort. It just showed up.
Well, they said a couple months in advance at the
Yeah,
next.
leading up to E3, they said something.
Then 3D
We didn't
Mario.
know how long it was in I mean, when I say, we didn't know how long it had been in development. Like with Star Fox, we know that it hasn't been in development no more than, what, a year?
Year and a half, maybe, yeah.
Year and a half? That's what scares me about it, like how early they started talking about it. But that might have been because they knew they was finna push Zelda back. So that might have been why they decided to start talking about Star Fox a little earlier than they normally would have.
Mm-hmm.
But they were working on a Star Fox for Wii, and they just didn't, they didn't have...
Finish.
Yeah, they just
didn't.
Okay,
I forgot
they
about
didn't have
that.
basically the Wii. He felt
wasn't
like
powerful enough.
Yeah, it wasn't the right system for what he wanted to do.
Yeah,
so I
that's a good
think
point.
a lot of stuff about Star Fox was already in place when Wii U came out.
Right, you're right. I forgot about that too. I sure forgot about that.
Yeah, I think the actual what's been going on for a year is just putting that stuff together.
And like Pikmin 3. Like that's kind of
I was going to say
Pikmin
3, same thing, and that turned out amazing.
Yeah, Pikmin 3 still. To me, Pikmin 3 is still one of the best looking games on the Wii U.
Oh, I thought it was the best looking game that year, which was the same year Last of Us came out, and I think that Pikmin 3 was the best looking game I saw in 2013. Personally,
I think the main thing about Star Fox and people were worried about the content. I think that was part of the development, but I feel like it's been in development for a while. The Wii stuff, but I think the thing is we haven't seen anything. And basically, all we have to go on is Star Fox 64. So Star Fox 64 wouldn't be a big game today. But I feel like
man, don't I don't know about that, bro. I love me some Star Fox, man.
Star Fox that's my game. But what I'm saying is the amount of stuff that's in Star Fox 64 wouldn't feel like a big game today. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can run through Star Fox 64 in about 40
compared to the order.
You know what we playing nowadays, man? It's none of these guys.
I feel like they're adding stuff to it.
What was it, like 6 hours or something like that? I mean, I played I haven't beat
it. I feel what you're saying, though, T. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I just meant like
I see what you're saying.
Starting a game in Star Fox and just going through it, obviously there's all these
20 minutes.
Like I went through I got all the medals, I got everything in Star Fox 64. I beat the correct ending, you get the real ending or whatever. So on that case it takes you a little long, but a lot of gamers they don't 100% anything. Like a lot of gamers.
Right.
Let me ask you a question though, Mizzah T. I think it would be worth buying just to see do a barrel roll in HD. Come on, man.
No, what I'm saying is,
did you hear that 7-channel barrel roll?
This new Star Fox will be a bigger game. I think there will be like a more a story centric Star Fox.
I have a serious question to ask you though for everybody. Do you think they're gonna have that do a barrel roll in the new Star Fox? I just want to know. Do you think that they're actually gonna say that?
That's classic.
I feel like they kind of have to have it.
Now, the reason I can agree with T is when we played Bayonetta 2 and they had the Easter egg of Star Fox.
I didn't even get to that.
We should have knew. We all knew right then and there it was coming, and I think that was even before they even announced that they was working on it, right?
Yeah.
No,
so,
it wasn't.
No, they
announced
it wasn't.
Was it? It wasn't. Well, anyway, if you could take that and how that looked, and I'm pretty sure that was just a quick thrown together.
Yep.
Was that quick?
I don't know.
That looked really
I think that was quick, dude. I think that was quick. Or either it was something they had been working on and just pulled and pieced it up for that particular game.
Yeah.
But that looked good, dude.
The fact that it looked that good, I think
it looked good, man.
They were telling you that Platinum is working on this game.
That's the rumors, man. The rumors.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like when you were saying that Star Fox 64 wouldn't work today. Yeah. If you take that game and just put that skin on Star Fox 64, I'm giving you all my money for it.
Yeah,
I'm
I
giving you-
agree. Not to
Before
mention other people will get excited about it because everyone else loves their graphics and they would
Right.
go nuts for it.
Because before that, you had Kamiya running around talking about, yeah, I love Star Fox. If you guys want me to work on it, tell Nintendo. You think he wouldn't tell Nintendo? Like, I
Right.
think he was trolling us at that point. Like, he was
Probably.
already working on it.
Yeah, you know, Kamiya's trolled us before, even with Bayonetta. He was
Right.
like, when people were saying like, we want Bayonetta 1 on Wii U, he's like, go ask Nintendo.
Right,
They
they were
were
trolling us on that. They were
working on it the whole time. Like,
Right. So that's
That's
why.
a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I
Alright.
think like look at how Nintendo. This last point, sorry, Terminator, but look at how we always talk about Nintendo puts so much content into their games anyway. Like look at Hyrule Warriors, look at Smash Brothers and all this stuff. Like they're making a brand new next gen Wii U Star Fox that is now, for all we know, their pinnacle like holiday release. This game will have a couple online modes. It's going to have a fleshed out story.
Right.
I think it's going to have a lot of content. I think it's going to look gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my theory.
You don't put Miyamoto on it to make Star Fox.
Yeah, and the Miyamoto factor. That's a whole new thing.
I mean,
Yeah,
come on. This is a big game for them.
I mean, come on.
All right, let's get to some questions and we'll wrap this up. Tony Coran, I popped this up earlier when we were talking about Xenoblade Chronicles X. After Nintendo of the Japanese Nintendo Xenoblade Chronicles X presentation finale, what are your guys' thoughts on the dolls and network preview? And he's saying it was the best. So I'm gonna go to Francis because I know for sure you watched that. What do you think of the dolls? And they showed some network connectivity. I don't know if it was clear what was going on. What are your thoughts?
Well, it's a full 4-player co-op. Okay, and it's also 32 players. You can put together like a squad. So, for example, you can put together like Player Essence, and you can have 32 people all in a shared, like basically like shared room. And when you guys complete quests, like messages will pop up on somebody else's game and stuff like that, and you can chat with other people.
Kind of like on Fantasy Life, kind of shows.
Yeah, just kind of
what's
like a shared connection, and then there's an actual 4-player co-op that has missions specifically like big bosses, stuff that you can specifically do for multiplayer with 4 players, and they're really hard. Like they're going to be ranging from easy to really, really hard that you can only do in multiplayer, and you can get exclusive gear, exclusive doll equipment. Some of them are going to be doll battles only, and you're really going to have to use like teamwork and communication. So as far as the network play goes, this is easily the most expansive network game Nintendo has ever done, in my opinion, like between the Wii, DS, everything. There is no other game as far as online play that Nintendo has done like this.
I think for a console game, period, like that's a really awesome use of a network.
Aren't they relying on? Didn't they just add USB keyboard support basically for this game?
I think that's been for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, they added it a while ago, but that was one of the things that that is going to be in there, the keyboard support. And stuff. So, I mean, as far as online goes, this is by far the most expansive online game Nintendo's ever done. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to the online play and just having all the 32 people in there and then also you can join, like, you know how there's the 8 different factions? You can actually join those for online battles too, which is the 4-player missions. So there's a lot of stuff in
That
this
sounds
game.
really cool. So
Yeah, it's very cool.
all right, I'm gonna take this next question because it's Teresa Hammond. Because I said I didn't like the GameCube controller, she wants to know if she can have my GameCube adapter. And the answer is no, because when I have 8 people over, 4 of my friends just won't play without the GameCube controller. So I need it for the game nights, which I'm having one next Friday. So
I will say, Teresa, I'll trade you mine for that Majora's Mask 3DS you have.
oh yeah, that's a good trade.
Yep, done
Terminator
deal.
Juice, you have 7 to 8 people come over to your house, or 6 to 7 people come over
Well,
to your
yeah,
house?
6. I had 6 over last time.
You've got way more friends than I do.
Well, it's through work. I know I work with a bunch of 20 to 28-year-olds, and they all love Smash.
I
so.
did, but before I did my move, in my last hometown I've been in for a long time, I did a couple 8-player matches. It's awesome.
And I mean, I
That's
have
cool.
the least amount of friends out of the people I know, so I said it in my couple podcasts ago. It's like if I can get 6 people over, I don't know if anybody should be able to, because I only have I have 2 like legitimate friends that are like that I consider like close friends. Everyone else is just kind of a acquaintance. But anyway.
I've done 8-player Smash with family members mostly, and they're not.
Yeah, none of my family ever played video games. So.
I'm like T, family members most of the time.
But it's definitely more fun with everybody in the same room when you can hear them laugh.
Oh yeah, it's a ball.
Talking crap. I think that's where voice chat could really add an element, just the social aspect, which what Level brought up earlier. But and Teresa said that just in case people haven't figured it out, boycotts do not work. And
Agreed.
I would agree. I don't see. I mean, there might be some in different industries or different scenarios, but not for a new IP. It's just only going to send the wrong message.
Occupy, man. Occupy Wall Street.
Yeah.
And
Occupy Nintendo. Yeah. We are the 1%.
King Garpachi wants to know, Mr. T, does your brain hurt from last night's discussion?
Oh, man.
3-hour podcast.
What? No, I think he's talking about his buddy that was on with him. He was making my head hurt.
Oh, was he?
With some of the stuff he was throwing in.
I didn't make it to that far yet. So.
Yeah, I think about an hour and a half in is when he starts chiming in a lot more, and then it gets...
What was he just...
He would just say some off-the-wall stuff, like... it's hard even... Yeah. It felt like he was trolling. I even asked him that. He was like, no, I'm serious. He was just...
Okay. Which podcast was this? Where is this one?
King and Prachi. I don't know if you subscribe to him or not.
No, it doesn't sound familiar. No.
Just check my Google Plus feed. I left a...
Okay, I can see him right here in the chat. So.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So this is a good question, and I guess I'll let whoever wants to answer it. Do you think that the Smash Bros. DLC is priced fairly? I personally feel that the characters being $3.99 for one and $5 for both are priced pretty fairly, but I'm not sure how I feel about the price of the Mii costumes. I think the Mii costume pricing is. I mean,
don't buy it.
Don't buy it. Don't buy it. They're like 75 cents a piece, or for a series.
Not so bad.
Or a piece.
I don't really think that's too bad.
I mean, who wants to charge? No one's going to charge 75 cents. So you're going to buy $5
for a Mii costume. A Mii. It's
that's too much,
I would never buy it, but I don't think it's like unreasonably priced.
No,
it's buy those things.
No, it's cheaper. It's as cheaper as the competition, but I just don't think I want to support it.
No, it seems like that's something that Nintendo said they wouldn't do, and they kind of doing it.
I think that's getting to the edge of the line for me. I just don't like. I'm not gonna buy it. Doesn't affect me. I don't like the Mii characters in general. I think the movesets are way overpowered and just ridiculous in that game. But I think a pack of a bunch of costumes for $1 would have been way more fairly priced. But,
yeah, that would have been better.
And then the characters, five for both decent, but 4 for one seems ridiculous.
I agree. It's a little too high. I think so too.
Especially for
I don't know about that because of the amount of time for a fighting game, the amount of time that you actually have to put into development and balancing and everything. Yeah. I don't think that's unfair for $4 for Mewtwo. In my opinion,
I don't have a problem with the price of the.
There's probably a ton of man hours that goes into making Mewtwo what it is and balancing it and putting him into the game. So for them to charge $4 for, I don't. I mean, are you going to charge $1 for that? I think that's crazy.
That's true.
That's half the price of most like fighters you have to buy from DLC.
Well, a lot of other games though, a lot of other fighting games, they'll give you a couple fighters for one price, and I think that's usually a better deal than buying one for like $4. Which is why I'm with Terminator. The 2 for $5 I think is pretty good, but I think one should have been maybe a little bit less. Like why not just cut it in half, just $2.50?
But I don't know. I just think the amount of time that it goes into making this type of game, I think it's fairly priced for the amount of time.
They most likely did it like that because you look at that price and like, shoot, I just might well go and buy both. And
yeah, you're right.
Because kind of how people did the
Mario Kart DLC.
I was looking at it like, man, what's the point of me? I might as well just buy both and just end it at that. So
buy it all right now and you can get the great deal. So.
And somebody, Shadow Heroes 43 said, flip gamepad for barrel rolls in Star Fox.
It's going to be something like that.
No.
Well, it's going to be something like that for sure. It's going to be...
If they make it natural...
What they need to do is use the voice function on the microphone, and you just have to say, do a barrel roll.
Exactly.
By the time you get it out, you're dead.
I guess I should say thanks.
So,
I'm so glad you guys caught that.
That game is so quotable, man.
Oh yeah,
totally is.
I hope they get a new voice actor for Slippy, please.
No, same one.
No, same one. Yep, I'm with Francis, same one.
No. Shadow Hero 43. This one's a little tough because it depends on taste. He's got what he wants to know what he can get for under $50 on the eShop. Rainbow Curse or Monster Hunter 4. Obviously, he's got a new 3DS and a Wii U. Portable Space Avengers or other indies. I would say, if you love Monster Hunter, get Monster Hunter 4. But Rainbow Curse for me was a great game for 40, and Affordable Space Adventures as well. But it just depends on your taste, so I guess.
I would say, I'm a huge Monster Hunter fan, so
there's a lot of content.
And Rainbow Curse. Yeah, and Rainbow Curse doesn't have as much content, I agree. Space Adventures is supposed to be great. It seems like a formality, but if you don't have Shovel Knight, you're crazy, so that's definitely one that you should buy too. And the Swapper, which I brought up earlier, that's a really great game, which you can buy in the eShop. So if you haven't tried that, that's a great indie game too. So
if for under $5, if you have a 3DS, go get Gunman Clive 1 and 2. This is the best $5 I ever spent on a.
Oh, hey, how's that? Let me ask you guys, because I bet most or all of you guys have played it. With that Iron Hook or Iron Fist game, the Gears of War shooter?
Ironfall?
Nope.
Ironfall.
No.
I gave them credit for 2 or 3 people what they achieved, but it's not a very fun game to play.
No.
Really? That's too bad. I was curious. I just haven't tried it.
The aiming's kind of terrible with the aiming stick.
Bummer. Never mind. Don't buy that.
So what are your thoughts on Nintendo of America and Europe localizing Fatal Frame for the Wii U this year? And should I thank Itagaki or it? I can never say his name. I don't know why. It just messes me up. For giving us faith in localizing this.
Absolutely, 100,000% yes. This is a great thing.
I'm glad they're doing it.
Beyond happy.
It sold terribly in Japan and only did like 60,000 units to date.
I think that kind of game actually anymore, I think it actually less appeals to that audience, even though, yes, it is a J-horror. It really is more of a Western thing anymore, which is why, and I said it on my first video months ago and the one I just made after the Nintendo Direct, I never had a doubt that this game was going to be brought over here because this is an area where they're not stupid and they messed up Fatal Frame 4, but they knew they couldn't do it this time. This game had to come out in the West. Yep. And they're doing it, so it's a great thing.
And I commented on that video, so I totally agree with you.
Yeah, good man. Yes, I appreciate it. Yeah, we're awesome. I think it's going to be a great game. I bet it'll do pretty well here too, because it's again a game that will appeal to the Western audience because it's a horror game and it's mature and it's bloody and we love that stuff over here.
They drop it in October around Halloween or something.
Yeah, definitely. They have a pretty decent marketing push for that. And again, because this game is so gamepad focused, this is huge for Nintendo. This is what they've said many times. They want to focus on moving forward with the Wii U so people understand why that's essential to the Wii U experience. This is the game to do it that also speaks to a mature Western audience. I think it's going to do not gangbusters, but it'll do pretty well.
It's got plenty of cutscenes that a lot of
that we love over here.
We love that stuff over here.
People be like, "Oh, the gameplay keeps getting in the way of my cutscenes."
Yeah, I mean, I do like the character designs and the atmosphere, but
it's a beautiful looking game. It looks very pretty.
I just don't know if it's gonna have enough gameplay, but I'll check it out. So
we'll see. Yeah.
Francis Capable Tie 7 has a question: should he pick up Bloodborne? He gets frustrated easily. And he also is not a fan of dark and gloomy, so...
No.
No.
No, man.
You get frustrated easily.
That's everything that game is about.
Yeah, if you get frustrated easily, you'll quit at the beginning of the game because you're going to die at the beginning, and then you're going to die again, and then before you might even get to the first checkpoint, you're going to die, and then once you get to that checkpoint, you're going to die after that. And until you get the hang of the game, until you realize that, I have to grind in this spot before I take on the first boss.
Yeah.
If you're not someone who likes to do that, and die and learn from your mistakes, and you get frustrated easily, then I would just say skip it and go pick up the Order. 18 days. Go pick up the Order if you're someone that just wants like a...
Yeah, nice I have to agree. There's no reason for you to pick it up as much as I love the game to death. That's why I said it's not for everyone too. And I appreciate the question that you're interested, but that question to me basically says, I hate red meat and I hate cheese, but should I buy this cheeseburger?
Or you should pick up...
I wouldn't do it.
You know what you should pick up? Another game from the pickup. It's coming out on the PS4 very soon. Is you can get Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition. If you haven't played that, that's going to be really good. Tons of content in that game for $40. It's digital only, which kind of sucks because I have the definitive edition right in front of me. I have Devil May Cry DMC, the definitive edition. Yeah,
is that good, by the way? Do you like
that? It has
that?
a ton of content. So you pick up one of those games. Pick up DMC Definitive Edition, or pick up DMC 4 Special Edition if you're looking for a game that you can play at a good difficulty level. You can still mess some people up, and you get a lot of content. Pick up that instead.
I got a better suggestion. Dark Souls 2 Definitive Edition. Did you mention that one yet?
No, that one's worse. That one's
Do
worse.
not
That one's
play.
harder.
I'm kidding because that's so ridiculous that game's coming out considering Bloodborne.
It's already out. It came out, I think, a couple weeks ago.
It came out April 2nd.
Yeah, like a week or two ago.
Yeah, it came out like a week. It's good, but it's harder than Bloodborne. Bloodborne is easier. This is how it ranks. It ranks the hardest is Dark Souls 2. Next, I would probably say is Dark Souls, then Demon Souls, then Bloodborne.
I totally agree. Exact order I would put them in. Yeah.
Bloodborne is the easiest game out of all of them, and because the PS4 is a mass market machine, so I understand why they made it the way it is. But Bloodborne's New Game Plus will destroy you, even really good players. But the beginning game, the first one went through. It's the easiest one. Once you start leveling up, you can get through it, and once you learn the charge attack. Once you just learn, hey, I can just charge attack people here and learn their patterns, you can get.
Also, I can't remember what it's called, but that ultimate finisher move, if you get that down, which is really hard to get down, but that'll save you big time.
Yeah, so
it's really tough to pull off.
Skip it and get DMC4 Special Edition on the PS4.
All right, so hopefully that's a good answer for you. This is one creator Mario78. Thanks for joining this podcast. I've never seen that name before, so a new viewer of mine. What if when Nintendo said that they aren't going to show off Zelda this E3, they meant it wasn't going to be playable? I kind of believe that they can't just not show it. In my mind, but I don't know what they could show that they haven't. I would like to see some direct feed footage of basically being on the horse and running around, instead of that off TV crap. But I wouldn't be shocked if they didn't show it. But I also think they're going to show it in just show a trailer or something. But it's definitely not going to be playable.
I always took that as being on the floor at E3 for journalists and all those can get their hands on it. As far as a trailer, I believe they're going to really, I think it's going to be a big part of their trailer or that. What did they call E3's last year? It was called the digital. I think it's going to be a part of the digital event, but not on the actual show floor.
And interesting, last year it was the end of April when they confirmed they were having a digital event instead of a press conference. So.
Yeah, I've been wondering the same thing. When are we going to find out what they're going to do?
Okay, Francis got a bail. If you want to do a quick sign off or anything.
I'm sorry, guys. My daughter, she's going crazy right now.
That's fine.
So, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. This is the first time that I've been on a podcast with Rob and with Levelhead. So, nice talking to you guys. And it was. I'm so glad you let me join this podcast. I really do appreciate it.
That's kind of why I wanted to do one on a Saturday, just kind of out of the blue, just to get maybe some different people on. So.
Cool.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll talk to you later. And
thanks for having me. We'll see you guys later.
All right.
Cool. Later, man.
So we got some more questions. I'm just gonna pick a couple more because they're just never ending here. And I had a good one, and I just lost it. Oh, Teresa says, Robert, she'll make that trade if you give her a Smash controller and the Fox Amiibo. I don't know if you have.
I will totally do that. That is totally worth it.
You two need to.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
And Tony Cran said, "Welcome back, Juice. Thanks. I missed last week's podcast. Sorry about that to everyone. Got a few people saying that they always look forward to the Juice Loose on Mondays, and just got caught up working on my car, doing some brakes because I was going to sell it, and then that deal fell through, so it was all for nothing. But anyway, let's get a couple more here. And Mizzah T, you and I'm gonna have you and I answer this question. What movies are you looking forward to this year? This is from Shadow Hero 43, and I'll go first. I'm not entirely embarrassed to say this, but slightly embarrassed to say this. Pitch Perfect 2, I'm looking forward to. The first movie was one of the funnier movies I've seen in years.
I'm excited for that too. That's legit.
It's a little bit awkward at times, but it's actually really funny, and
they just confirmed that they're making Pitch Perfect 3. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
Just today, they confirmed that they're working on the third one too.
Comedy sequels usually aren't great, but I'm gonna give this a chance. And the other one, The Avengers, Age of frick it. What the hell is it?
Ultron.
Yeah. I didn't care for I mean, I liked the first one, but it wasn't like the greatest thing ever, like everyone said. But the new one looks incredible.
Blasphemy.
Yeah.
The new one looks incredible. I would put the Avengers as like third or fourth in the Marvel movies.
Oh my God!
Yeah, I just
my heart skipped a beat.
I'm leveled on this one.
I can't take those generic aliens at the end. And
Oh my Lord, man!
Yeah.
Hulk smash? When he
were
picked
set
up
in
Loki?
Thor. They were set up.
When he picked up Loki and smashed him?
That's
and
funny the first
Cutie
time.
died?
That's funny the first time. I've seen it 3 times now, so it's not like it's terrible.
I might go down there and put that in after we get off.
I only watched it a third time because of Scarlett Johansson, so I just
that is an acceptable answer.
And then
there's a huge one you're missing, Terminator. So I'm giving you some time before we all yell at you. Think of by the entirety of the rest of 2015.
Oh, Star Wars.
Thank you, good
man. I was waiting on
Did
him to
you
say it too. I was fearing that I was maybe it's not coming out this year.
Cautiously optimistic on that one.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be good because it's out of the George Lucas hands. It's in somebody else's hands.
Abrams, he did Star Trek's one in my top 5 favorite movies of all time. So the first Star Trek that he did.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
So
which one?
The J.J. Abrams Star Trek from 2009.
I thought the second one was better.
Oh.
I'm with you there too. I like them both, but I actually like Into Darkness a lot.
Frickin' Thor in the beginning of the first Star Trek when they're naming their son as it's about to crash. That's just touching. So, Mizzah T, what movies are you excited for this year?
Is that for me?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you pretty much hit them all. Yeah, and I'm also excited for Pitch Perfect 2 as well, because the first one was a surprise.
Oh yeah, big surprise.
Complete, it just hit me like I told you back in the day. What's the Bring It On? That was a surprise for me, and I really liked that.
Oh, it's
movie.
already been berotten.
So yeah, Mad Max Fury Road.
Yes,
absolutely. Looking forward to that.
I forgot
I know
about
I'm
that
missing one somewhere.
There's
other than
couple,
Star Wars.
actually.
Is it Ant-Man? No,
Yes.
that's later.
Ant-Man
No,
is
that's this year.
Yeah,
really
that's the one nobody
I
said
haven't
yet.
seen enough. That doesn't look.
Have you seen the what is it? What is the villain? He's yellow. I can't jacket.
Yellow jacket. Yeah.
Dude, you
I
gotta
haven't seen
see
him
his costume, man.
That's part of Marvel. That's basically Phase 3 stuff. Like that movie, even though it's got totally unfairly ripped from Edgar Wright's hand, which was a huge mistake.
Mm-hmm.
That film is probably still going to be pretty good, and Paul Rudd's going to be a great choice. And you've got oh my God, who is Emilio Estevez's dad, or Martin Sheen playing Hank Pym. That movie's going to be a really good movie, I think.
And I'm really excited for the third.
No, not
Avengers.
Martin Sheen. It's Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas. Yeah,
Yep.
that's what I meant. Thank you.
Someone told me that the third Avengers is going to be directed by the guys that did Captain America, Winter Soldier, which got me really excited.
Yeah, that'll be a good one because Winter Soldier is my second to Avengers.
That's my number 1. So.
Well, okay, it's not better than Avengers, but it's close.
Avengers is my number 3.
I like the darkness of it.
I thought Guardian.
Captain America is my number 2, and Iron Man, the first one, is my number 1.
Good man for some Iron Man. I'm with you there. Iron Man is amazing. Yeah.
Here we go. Avengers, Winter Soldier, Iron Man 1, maybe Hulk, the remake of Hulk after that one.
Which was really good. I hold as the Avengers as probably my third favorite comic film of all of them, behind Dark Knight at number 2. And this might not be very popular, but Days of Future Past to me, perfect. The best comic film.
I like that movie.
So fun. There was more like weight and gravitas and like real world problems happening in Days of Future Past combined with the X-Men universe, like the comic universe happening in that movie, than any other film. If you exclude things like V for Vendetta, which is like a commentary on like socialism and all that stuff, which is a great damn movie too.
That's a good movie.
Yeah, but for like the big budget stuff, I think Days of Future Past is it. But I want to throw a couple other 2015 movies in here because there's some other big ones we haven't thought of that I'm also really pumped for. Jurassic World is
Oh,
coming
yeah.
out really soon. That's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I forgot about that one too.
I don't know.
Do this. You don't know?
Go watch
Yeah.
Jurassic
I don't know about
Park
that
2 again, and then lower your expectation. I think it's going to be good. I just don't think it's going to be great.
I think it's going to be pretty darn good. I'm excited. Spectre. So we get James Bond coming back this year. That is a huge deal.
I couldn't finish Skyfall, so I'm not too...
Really?
I felt like Skyfall was super overrated, and I'm not. From what I've seen of Spectre, I'm not that excited.
Oh, okay.
What about
I can't wait.
Mission Impossible?
Yeah, I just saw the trailer.
That's the
for
one
that
I'm
last
forgetting.
night.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know if y'all saw that one or not.
Tom Cruise has delivered. The last 3 movies for me have been great, so I'm
Totally agree.
probably his last
Have
5.
y'all seen Fast and the Furious?
I saw that last
7?
night. I saw it last night.
Is that good?
So here's the thing about my opinion.
I don't know if "good's" the word for those.
Well,
movies,
okay,
but
no,
is it-
I didn't
like 'em.
love it. I didn't love it, but here's the thing, and you're gonna laugh at me for this. It's the only Fast and Furious movie I've seen. I haven't seen any of the previous ones.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
and so I didn't hate it. It was just not a good movie. And I will say that, to me, the best parts of the movie are things that most Fast and the Furious fans probably wouldn't care about. Like, I thought that Kurt Russell was the best part of that movie. But I will say, I will tell
Oh,
you
you
this.
spoiling it. You spoiling it, man. You can't say
What
names
about the
before-
tribute?
No, I won't spoil it. That's what I was going to say. I won't spoil the movie, I promise. If you're a fan of it, I guarantee you should see and love it. The tribute at the end was the reason to see the movie, and I won't lie, I was like basically going to bawl like a baby in the movie, like watching it. It was so brutal. Like I was like, oh my god, this is like, I couldn't even handle it. Like I was trying to describe it to my girlfriend today, and I almost wanted to like tear up again just remembering and describing it. So anyone who liked Paul Walker, which was my thing, I was a fan of him outside of the Fast movies, or anyone who's been watching all these movies, like bring tissues. I don't care how manly you are, you were gonna bawl like a little girl. Like it's
Dude,
so sad. It's perfect.
As the older I get, the more emotional I get during movies. I mean, I don't cry or anything, but there's I told Mizzah T, there's Captain Phillips I watched for the first time like a couple weeks ago. And the end of that movie, man, Tom Hanks his acting was just, it was so amazing.
When he's like in shock and all that.
Yeah, it's just incredible. Like I was like, man, I felt the little welling of the tear ducts, you know.
It happens.
Well, as you get older, you begin to experience more and go through more losses and situations that cause you to respect it more.
All right,
dude,
so
if you don't cry when you watch Braveheart, you're dead inside.
Yeah, I know.
cry every time I watch it.
I'm gonna spark some movie controversy right now because you guys mentioned a couple movies where I think, and I remember the first one. You said The Dark Knight. I think Batman Begins was the superior Batman movie, and
I know a lot of people. I don't agree with that by any stretch of the imagination, but I know a lot of people who actually
here's why.
say that.
Let me tell you why. Because
Okay.
it actually represented Gotham as a Gothic city. It took place mostly at night. Batman was actually scary. People were scared of him. The Scarecrow was a really creepy villain, and they just completely got rid of that for the second one. It was happening mostly all in the daytime. And as much as I loved the Joker, and I thought that was a great performance, Two-Face was terrible in that, and it just drug on too long, and Batman Begins was a better. I'd say Batman Begins was a better Batman movie, and The Dark Knight was a better movie overall.
Better movie. I still don't agree with that.
Oh man!
One of the reasons was. Well, go ahead. Hold up, I gotta do something. Go ahead, I'll give my reason.
In the first one, it was Gotham. In the second one, it was Chicago. I mean, it didn't have that Gotham feel anymore. And
they did the CG stuff, and then they made it look more gothic in the first one.
They added that.
Yeah, I feel like your complaint about how Batman being more scary and stuff. Like, I agree. That was one of the good parts about the first one. But I feel like it's almost not fair to hold that against The Dark Knight because at that point, Batman's not new anymore. So, like, he was scary in the first film because Batman was new. Batman just came out of nowhere, and people were like, what the hell is this? This is horrible. So people were afraid of him. Like, by the time The Dark Knight was around, people within the world, like the movie world, like, they weren't, like, Batman wasn't a new thing. Like, they already knew that this guy existed and that Batman was who he was. That's why that opening scene where you've got the guys pretending to be Batman and stuff shows how much he had affected and changed the culture in the world just because this guy named Batman existed.
Yeah,
so,
but that's what I was going to say. Like, to me, the first one, it done all the Batman things, but it didn't feel like Batman. It felt like this dude was in a suit trying to play Batman to me. And the second one felt like, even though it wasn't, it was shot in a lot of daytime, the movie actually felt like Batman. He like he had came into the character by the second
It also
movie.
felt a lot like the movie Heat. It felt like a heist movie, and
right.
That's why I thought it was great, though.
It was great, but I just felt the first was more towards. I'm waiting for a graphic novel version, like a movie version of the graphic novel Batman. Like I just go.
You're thinking
all
like Dark Knight
style.
Returns kind of stuff.
Go all art style. Just I mean, do like like a Spirit or 300 art style. Just go over the top and make all the Batman.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
That would be really cool.
Be Croc. Don't make it human beings and all this real world stuff. Even though it worked and it was very successful and it was great, they were great movies.
I think we're gonna get that. We're getting Killer Croc.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Killer Croc is a whole different Batman.
And I think that, and I know that Terminator, you'll probably be more down on this idea because we talked about how you thought about Man of Steel and stuff. But I feel like I feel like where Zack Snyder is kind of taking things, like with what he set up with Man of Steel and what it seems like we might be getting going forward with Ben Affleck as Batman, that it's still going to be very much like a serious, grounded in reality kind of thing, but I see more playing with the comic book flashiness of the worlds in Zack Snyder's film than what Christopher Nolan was doing with the Dark Knight stuff. So we might kind of get some of the more comic book sort of stylized things with Batman vs Superman, hopefully.
Let me ask this:
when you bring in
Terminator. Yeah. Did you not like Man of Steel?
Oh my God!
I didn't like Man of Steel at all.
See, I don't. See, I think I'm gonna turn some heads. I did.
Dude, I'm with you, man.
And I liked it for all the reasons. I liked it for all the reasons everybody said they didn't like it. Because if this man is supposed to be what he is and is as powerful as he is, if he got into a fight with a being just as powerful as he is, don't you think that would be what would happen if they fought in New York City or wherever they was fighting at?
Possibly.
Metropolis.
Metropolis, yeah.
I think
to me, that what they did was believable because of who they were. I like the spin to make him more believable rather than always able to save everybody without destroying anything.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing I try to tell everybody is that it's called Man of Steel for a reason, because he's not Superman until basically the end of the movie.
That's why
he's learning.
So
you like it,
Mr. T?
He didn't even learn how to fly until 2 days before Zod showed up.
Yeah.
So he's not Superman yet until basically the end of the movie. So he's kind of trying to figure himself out.
It's what his dad is trying to teach him. That he's trying to teach him how to be Superman.
Right. Let me sum it up for you guys. The end of the movie is how I wanted the whole movie to be, with Clark Kent with glasses going to the frickin' Daily Planet.
That's what that's what I'm telling you, though.
Or do what they showed in the beginning, the first few teaser trailers. This different take on Superman, where it was just like more. God, I'm trying to think of the word I'm looking for. When they first showed it, it looked like it was a lot more deep thinking and just a lot more depth to the characters and stuff. And then you get this ridiculous Lois Lane and these really quick scenes, and it turned into like an action movie the next.
Right, but see, the thing is, Superman. See, what made Batman so good is Batman always had villains that Batman actually can get it in with and pull out the best of Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Every Superman movie, he really didn't have a villain that can challenge him. He was just there, and maybe the original Superman. That one might have been the only one, and the last one, which we won't even talk about. The
Superman Returns.
Yeah, we won't talk about that. Superman Return. Not the one prior to Man of Steel. I'm talking about the last of the what's his name?
Superman 4.
Superman 4.
That was
we won't talk about that one. But the second one, that was the only time Superman fought characters that could actually match him, which is what this one was kind of based off of. And to me, it made Superman believable. The destruction, the tearing down of skyscrapers, all that, to me, was like, that's the Superman I want to see. You know, that's what I want to see happen. And you know, you don't just have to rebuild the city.
See, I'm sick of people. I'm sick of these comic book movies trying to do the Dark Knight and make them grounded in reality.
It definitely did.
It's not. That, yeah. But here's the thing, though. People complain about Superman. A lot of people who don't like Superman. He's overpowered. He's too true blue. And they try to give him nuance in this movie. They tried to, and people didn't like that either. It's like, what? You can't win.
I mean, it was popular and it performed well at the box office.
I don't think
you're right. There were a lot of complaints about it.
Like I wanted it to be that, but I don't think the writing or the acting delivered that. That's the difference.
Like I blame the shortcomings on Man of Steel on Superman Returns because they were afraid to not make it too, you know, cerebral and too kind of slow paced, and they probably did a little bit too much action, and it was a little disjointed. I'll agree with that.
Yeah, certain part.
The end felt like the Matrix Revelations to me. Revolution.
God, I loved it though, man. I could watch that for 7 hours on repeat, just like keep breaking shit and keep doing it. I'm like all about it.
Anyway. That movie question turned into a half hour.
That's a whole other podcast. You bring up.
So we're gonna wrap this
Good
up.
Call.
I wanted to say 9 to 5 Gamers. I read all your comments. You didn't have any questions, but he's posted a few comments as we were talking. He thinks Bloodborne. He says Bloodborne is the shit. So I want to give him a shout out. Everyone else that read your questions and comments, but we're out of time. We're at the two hour mark, so we're gonna wrap this up. But I appreciate everyone who's hung in this whole time. We had a good amount of viewers this whole time, so I really appreciate that. And want to thank my guests for joining me because this was kind of a last-minute deal, and we had a great discussion. So I'm going to give everybody a chance. Do your final thoughts and your sign-off, and we'll start with you, Rob.
So thanks again always for having me. Like I said, I love being on The Juice is Loose, and love the cast and stuff we had today. Level, this was the first time I got to do a cast with you, man. I just discovered your channel probably like 2 or 3 months ago, right before you did your first Juice is Loose. So I'm definitely a big fan, man. So that was cool.
Oh, appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, man. And I also had never done a cast with Francis, so that was a lot of fun. But yeah, so my channel, again, just in case you don't know, is called Rule of Two Review. I try to do pretty consistent videos. I recently put up a couple really controversial ones about Nintendo Directs, and I touched on the Angry Joe thing, and it's been really crazy. But I cover mostly Nintendo, but a lot of other things too. So this was a great discussion. I think we learned we should do a movie podcast sometime in the future.
I know, right?
Which would be obviously a lot of fun.
It always comes down to Man of Steel every time we talk.
That's so funny it came up. I can't believe it came up again. So
it's a good movie, man.
I agree. I love the movie, but Terminator, I see where you're coming from. So
I tried. I gave it a second shot. I could not make it through the second viewing.
That's all you can ask. At least you tried, and it is what it is. So
and
hopefully
maybe someday I'll watch it again, and it'll just hit me. And
maybe if Batman vs Superman's really good, it might make you like it more. You know, that's
I'm
possible.
hopeful for that one, but.
Yeah, we're going to see a trailer for that, a movie in the next month or something. They confirmed the trailer, and I'm forgetting what movie it is.
It's in Mad Max.
Mad Max, you're right. Thank you.
Nice.
That's exactly what it is. So we're going to get the trailer in the next month or so. But anyway, this was awesome. Thanks so much for having me on. I always love being on Terminator, and I'll hopefully get to be on another one soon. So.
And now you're where you live in Portland or?
Yeah, I just moved. I've been in Denver, Colorado for 19 years, the best city in the world, but I just moved to Portland, Oregon about 3.5 weeks ago. So
now you're one of those cool hipsters.
Yeah, but well, hey, there's Denver hipsters too, man. So I don't know where I fit in the mold
Denver's
anymore.
probably got hipsters.
Yeah.
Yeah, Denver's definitely a bigger city with more people. Portland is more compact, but there's a lot of people here. It's a great place. I love Portland so far too.
Nice.
So, but I'll be back in Denver eventually. So.
All right, Mizzah T, any final thoughts?
It was a lot of fun, of course.
Whoa.
Who's that guy?
He came back out of nowhere.
Great discussion, guys. Had a lot of fun. You know me, Mizzah T, and make sure you play Nintendo foods, and I'm out.
All right. A leveled head. Go ahead.
Man, I enjoy myself. I always love being on The Juice is Loose. Man of Steel is a great movie and needs to be watched again and again and appreciate it for what it is. And no, man, I enjoy myself. I love topping it up with you guys. Y'all kind of make me enjoy gaming like we all should. This is the part of gaming, and these type of conversations get me like, man, this is what I miss. But I enjoy this, man, and look forward to coming on again. So peace out. Follow me on Twitter at Levelhead Game, no R. And follow me on Levelhead Gamer Show on YouTube, and let's keep this stuff rolling, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's great discussion, guys. If anybody ever calls us fanboys who can't say Nintendo does anything wrong, send them to this podcast because we went in on the voice chat quite a bit, and so I think it was a well-rounded discussion. Really, really enjoyed this. So, thanks again to everyone who's watched this live, and then anyone watching this on the replay. Feel free to comment. How do you feel about about Man of Steel? Do you like it? Do you hate it? So
that's going to be what people
topic,
remember.
man.
Yeah, people are going to remember Man of Steel more than
it's polarizing.
It's really polarizing. You hate it or you love it.
Yep, it's true.
So,
I love it.
I know just as many people that love it as I do people that hated it. So, all right. So that's going to be it. It's kind of a weekend Saturday edition of the Juice is Loose. I'll still have a podcast on Monday. Actually, no, it's my dad's birthday, so I might not be home in time. So I guess that was another reason to do it on Saturday. So that's it. We're gonna call it a night, and we'll see you on the next video.